All right, welcome back to DangIT Prodcast, the show where we talk about video games, anime, manga. My name is Justin,
I'm Aniyah.
and welcome back, everybody. Aniyah, it's been a little bit. How you been?
That's basically what I was doing for like the past 2 weeks. Just a lot of congestion.
Just a lot
I was sick, bro, left and right. Yeah, it's like a piston. Like it was annoying, but it was stupid. I hate being sick. It
It's
doesn't
like a little
happen
mini
often, but when I
factory.
am, yeah, when I'm sick, that message is like, I don't want to talk to nobody, dog. It's one of those kind of things.
You know what? It could be just I've been seeing it across the board, maybe except for myself and Seffi, but people just getting sick. It's rough out there.
Yeah, the winter season, cold weather. Yeah, like I know we're going from winter months, and then we're about to get into spring, so we're getting some rain. But aside from that,
mm,
not a fan of cold weather. I think I'm wearing like 3 layers every time I step outside.
mm.
So
It's funny because I'm
yeah.
kind of different because aside from me like possibly getting sick, and I hate that, but I like winter weather because it lets me like style a little bit more. I mean,
But
I'm allowed to like actually wear the jackets I buy.
all that too, yeah. Things are just sitting in the coat hanger for a while, and it's like I never use that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, I was this past week was just an excuse for me to wear my it wasn't even that like cold at all. I was inside all day, but just wear that one jacket I bought from like Evo last year because I really like that jacket, but
Oh
there's
yeah,
literally no other reason for me to wear it, especially when we were out in Vegas during
yeah, and the
the
heat.
beginning summertime. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it was too toasty. It was pretty toasty there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I feel it. I feel it. Aside from that, I'm doing pretty good. I really should have been keeping up with like a lot of game stuff. I just been reading a lot of. Well, I've been usually reading manga, but I usually
Cool.
just have that on my on like my little docket while I'm just sitting around trying to get some other stuff done. But now I'm able to like get back on the computer stuff and finishing editing these videos.
Okay. Cool.
So that should be good pretty soon. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
I'll be honest too. I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of news this past week, mainly because your boy's been working. I've talked to Phil about it before, and I can tell you more detail like later on. But I've been doing this whole financial goal of mine, like starting this year, and it's really serious. I'm buckling down. I'm like dollar cost averaging things, like looking to my portfolio, just putting so much out there so that like in the near future, well maybe not near future, it's still gonna be like maybe a decade later. But I'm hoping to get
All
like a
right.
lot of returns on that one. But of course, that's not
Yeah.
even talking about like me doing all the side hustle stuff. But it's been hard to like now keep that in mind, but also keep content in mind because there's something I want to like film this weekend and get that out there for this upcoming week. But especially considering that there's a time right now between this and the Switch 2 that I can take advantage of prior to me just
Mhm.
locking in on Switch 2 content. But that's kind of where my brain's at right now. But I literally spent like this past morning just looking up all these big things that have like happened this past week and then just putting them all on a docket for us to talk about.
No, I get you. Yeah, I was thinking of other ways that we can kind of manage that as far as just like we avoiding burnout, but trying to put out as much as we can within that. Because again, 9 to 5, so that takes away time that we could have spent doing content and stuff. But
Yeah.
another thing. Hold on, since you're
Mm.
talking about financial cutting costs and like budgeting, now
Hmm.
we have to consider let's see, the what's his face
Hmm.
going to certain trips and everything because that can cost.
That
That can
costs a
cost.
lot, yeah. Like I think the trip from like here to Mark's wedding, I forget exactly how much that was. I think was it for like 300, 400 something? It's not bad, but like,
Oh, you mean like the plane ticket?
yeah. And yeah, I guess there's
Oh,
also, hotel stays and us being there for like food and whatnot,
yeah. The
stuff
the
like
what's his
that.
faces too. The Uber and Lyfts and stuff. So that was a little annoying. But
That's
aside from
true,
that,
yeah.
yeah, it's like I've been thinking about that because honestly, I'm having like a little personal trip. For what is it? The Chromacopia, the Tyler the Creator concert
Ooh,
on
cool.
what March 1st. I got my tickets and everything.
Hmm.
The other thing would be like, what is it? Lifts and driving and all the other nonsense.
Oy,
Because
yeah.
another thing that's going on is my car. I'm driving it. It's drivable. but
it's drivable.
I don't want this thing like falling. Yeah, it's like I didn't notice what was going on with my car, but then I noticed on like one of my back tires, one of the lug nuts are gone. It's not like it's not like I didn't have it. Like I had one, but like it was gone. Like I would notice, I was like, "There's only 3 on those." Did it loosen up? I was like, "Yeah," but like the stud that you spin the lug nut on is gone. It like snapped in half.
Oh my God.
So while I was driving, when I was driving once, and then it started rocking and everything.
Oh God.
I thought it was my front tires. It was my back one. So I was like, you know what? How much is that? It's gonna be a pretty penny. It's like all together, I mean, but at least you go to YouTube Academy, and then I'll just teach myself how to like switch myself. Yeah, I don't want to spend money on like the labor. I'll just like, bro, cue that up right now, and then just like learning myself. That's all.
I was gonna say, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that, like, as far as drivability, you can argue that the Flintstones mobile is actually drivable.
Bro. It's exaggerated walking. That's all that is. Although their brake systems are like their heels. That's crazy.
It is. But you know what? As far as coasting, like after you like get a little bit of momentum, you can kind of coast.
Oh yeah, just put it in like cruise control. Like you just put your feet up,
but never go downhill. Don't go downhill.
Yo, you gotta have no ankles by that time.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't come up with steel toe boots until like a good number of years later.
That's great. I think that should be cool though, considering like the commute to work isn't like horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So even doing like doing the bus should be cool.
Yeah.
But even then, nothing really gets in the way of me like getting back and forth to work. I always have a way to do that.
That's good. I was also gonna say too, aside from the little funny bit, you could say that, when it comes to like paying like to do your own thing or like the DIY versus like having someone else do it, obviously you have to keep in mind of like who's doing it and like what's their background, like how well they've been like effective or impactful for other people as far as like this type of service. But it's also like that transaction is also like a thing about like time and convenience too. So if you find yourself like spending way too much time on the car versus doing things you want to do, then I think having someone else do it for you is also viable and also valid.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how often I would want to give that time up, and then of course like the cost for it, which is why like on top of just budgeting and everything, that's still considered with what we're doing for the rest of this year. So like, let's see, I'm gonna buy my ticket actually for SoCal Gaming Expo. I'm gonna buy that later today, basically. But I would say that's the cheapest trip out of everything we're planning to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is it? We have Evo, and then it would be cool to go to TwitchCon again. But I'm just thinking, does that affect your bottom line as far as like you saving and like planning your budgets and everything?
You know what? I think we last year when we went, actually, it was a pretty good deal because one, it's relatively local. Two, we had a means of transportation like to and from, so we didn't really have to like Uber anywhere. And the only thing really was just food, and you could literally keep it down to like just using like certain apps, like take advantage of certain deals and whatnot, especially if you are part of the rewards of certain things. Like McDonald's came in clutch like for Evo because it was, first of all, we could walk there, and two, it was one of those things where like we keep like going to that, so eventually the reward points adds up. I think I still have some reward points too.
Oh yeah, I probably do those too. I downloaded that app and it came in real clutch actually. So yeah, it works. Yeah, there's always some way of us like making it happen. But I even did like, what is it, did I do it up to May? I think I made a budget up to May because that's gonna be, what is it? I'm going to DreamCon again, and I got my tickets last year, so I already had that set around. But what is it? I just made a budget of that because through these next couple of months, because on top of as far as like a budget plan or financial thing I'm doing, I'm buying a new mini PC that's going to be dedicated to just editing. Because what I'm assuming, this is what I'm just hoping for. When I try like cleaning out and filtering the stuff in this like this current setup, I want to see a difference between how fast it takes for me to like edit something compared to when I get this new one, because the new one's going to be completely clean. Like it's going to have nothing on it but like the operating system. So where compared to this thing where I have like my Steam, I have what is it, the editing program, my drawing program that's still on here. It's just like a lot of things that I'm just assuming that it's getting like a lot of demand, and then like this computer does like weird startup programs that I can't stop. That's annoying. I don't get why Windows does that. It's like there's just some things you can't keep it from doing, and I assume that's like taking a lot. I'm just making guesses because I'm like, why? Oh, why? Because I have like 2 SSDs, right? One that's just like straight up for like memory, as far as like, you know, allocating memory and then like not being too overridden, I guess. I don't know. It feels like most of the things I'm looking at when they're like, "Oh, your setup's good," and yet this thing takes like if I'm cutting up a video, that shit takes like 5 minutes. I'm like, you know, man,
it's kind of rough.
Yeah, I'm sick of being lied to. What is the optimal setup to where like this thing just you know, just splits and does it in a second? Because I don't need it like taking too much time, especially when I'm just like I'm just cutting something. Like I'm just trying to mute something. Like if anything, I'm taking memory away. Like what's happening? Like I don't.
I'm gonna be real honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is the reason why Apple has such a chokehold on folks, because it's just because I do not hear like that type of difficulty that like from the Apple side.
I seriously don't. I think I'm just gonna have to move over and get like their editing stuff, because man,
maybe
Windows has been like I even hear stuff about Linux being like a way of doing things. I guess like you have more control with Linux, and it's more like technical. So I guess like it's not as like streamlined and easy compared to like maybe Apple and then definitely Microsoft. So I'm just like, there's always something wrong with everybody. It's annoying. So I'm gonna pick and choose.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun thing to do here, actually, sorting that stuff out.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, and I think to each their own type of like difficulty going through like the Windows like process and ecosystem. I've been able to get things down to a science where like a lot of stuff doesn't bug me too much, but there are like visible issues I have with like my current editing setup. But I think if I were to upgrade my stuff, I'm not going to, but if I do upgrade my stuff in the future, then I don't think I should, knock on wood, I should have any issues going forward with whatever that is. But for the most part, like my editing is pretty like straightforward too. There's nothing crazy. The only time like you'll feel like I'm doing a lot is if I'm overlaying a bunch of stuff on top of each other. Mainly 2 different video tracks. Audio stuff is okay, but you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I couldn't say that I'm having the worst experience, so I will definitely stick to it. And I think with the content I want to produce, it's perfectly like functional.
Good stuff. I love to hear it.
Now, first and foremost, before we go ahead and get started with like all the topics and whatnot, I want to give some shouts to Ibrahim. I do see you. I've been reading all the chats. It's been an interesting dynamic when it comes to like, I don't know how other people do it like for their shows as far as like engage with like a live audience. But for me, it's always been kind of like a difficulty, kind of struggling, or I should say, like balancing like the act between like keeping my attention on like the co-host and also like keeping in touch with like community and stuff like that.
You know what it is? If I had to guess, multiple monitors help out, but it's kind of like a queue, because I have this big TV right here, and then my drawing tablet is like a smaller one, so it helps to serve just like me having like more like perspective on things. So it's easier to organize what's on which monitor. Like Discord, like our call, I'll have it big right here, so it's the main focus. If I do chat, like even when I'm streaming, I have my third monitor, which is kind of like a little bit more bigger. I open OBS, and then I like stretch out the chat to be like bigger than everything. So that way, like in your peripheral, you'll see something pop up on the screen, and then you can just like, oh, okay. Thanks for the gift of subs and stuff like that. That would make more sense. It might tax more on your computer, so I'm like, it'll help you, but like, man, I feel like that mess will. He'll be like, man, my graphics, my NVIDIA is being fucking.
I don't know if that should be an issue with taxing like your computer if it's just showing text. But I feel you though. I feel you. Which is why
I recommend.
Yeah, for sure. I have like all my stuff like spread out. Like I have Discord as like a big screen here for the sake of capture. But I also have
Yeah,
OBS
yeah, yeah.
overlaying that because I can see you just fine in the preview window of OBS. I
Uh-huh.
have YouTube over here. I have like Twitch over here. I have like the prompter right here, which is displaying like more chat here. But I realized that
Oh,
last stream
oh.
actually I'm able to see chat, but I don't see the redeems through Twitch, like drinking water or stretching or someone like doing like a sound alert. Those should be turned off for podcasts, and I have made sure to just do that this time around. But it means I had not seen that, and there was someone who jumped in with that. I was like, oh man, I only saw it after the
Really?
fact.
Oh, okay. I
So
see
that's
you.
why I have Twitch Manager right there. So it's like, okay, I see the alerts right there too. Well, actually, you know what? You have to set up with OBS too, but you can also set up like alerts over here too, or I'm sorry,
Yeah,
redeems and
yeah.
whatnot.
I
Recent
see you.
activities.
That's good. I see you though. Let's sort it out. But I guess like, man, speaking of streaming, I think I might just try to. I think I might do a stream tomorrow because I
Hmm.
haven't been streaming at all. There's somebody in my who's in my chat who wanted me to do like a challenge for what is it, Blasphemous? Love that
Ooh.
game. But I haven't been streaming, so I'm gonna try to at least like catch up on that because that'll be fun to do.
Okay, so yeah, for example, Ibrahim actually redeemed the water. I can't turn that redeem off, but that is still like a nice gesture, so I appreciate that.
Man, that's weird. Yeah, no, I get you. That happens sometimes where nothing pops up. It might be like a alert thing, or maybe what is it? Because you have where's it at?
Quickly, and I drinks the water.
Oh wait, I don't have any water on me. That's not fair.
Oh!
Wait, it's
Ah!
empty. It's empty.
I do like that water bottle though. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. I found this one. Gazer. I don't know.
Oh, nice, nice. You have one of those.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we get started? So just to kind of give everyone like just
All right,
a general summary of what we're talking about, but we can obviously chime in some additional stuff. We're talking
let's
about
go.
games that came out this week, pickups. We might talk about some like movie stuff here and there, aka Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
But the
yeah, yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
highlight is kind of like Capcom. Unfortunately, I think Phil would have a lot more to say about like all of the Capcom bits, but you know, we'll see what we can work out with that. There's one particular
Yeah.
topic for Monster Hunter regarding the beta, and NSL updates. PlayStation Network shutting down for a little bit, or having an outage, I should say. I think we're gonna be talking about Nintendo patents that have like popped up this past week, and we might talk about anime and manga at the end.
Gotcha. Wah.
So I will go ahead as I keep note of this, at this here, proactively adding to the time markers.
Okay.
Talk about pickups, actually. I only have the one, so this is going to be a really short one. And it's so funny
Yeah, I don't think I have
because...
any.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I don't have any.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, you know what? That's fair. This is kind of like one... This is one of the stragglers from like before I even made my whole budgeting goal. Albeit, I'm still picking up games here and there. But it's funny
Uh-huh.
because this kind of is related towards the PlayStation Network outage too, in the sense that like this is now even more like useless. But I'll tell you,
Easy.
this is probably the most useless buy for me. It's Honkai Star Rail. It's a PlayStation 5 disc like physical edition.
They had one? They had a physical? Wait, hold on. I think you
This
guys mentioned that in the chat.
So I think this came out last week. There was a couple of delays on mine, but essentially they had planned this out like last year, and they finally released
Mhm.
this. Essentially, it's just it's just a collector's edition. That's all it really is. Because you're probably
Dope.
asking,
Okay.
like, chat's probably wondering, and people out there are probably wondering, like, well, isn't it just free to just download? It is. Is it also online only? It is. So even though this
Bro,
does have
so
a disc on it that works, you can only go so far with it.
that's kind of funny.
I am curious. Oh yeah, because
Huh?
they'll actually specify here that it's like, one network player. There's no offline mode. It's 100 gigs minimum, and there's still like in-game like purchase stuff like related to it. But otherwise, what you're really wanting to get out of this is essentially just as a collector's thing. They have character art cards. They have a couple of like keychains and whatnot. And they have a redemption code for probably some bonus stuff and whatnot. So this is mainly for those who just like love the series and just kind of want something for memorabilia. So it was
Oh
one of those things
yeah.
where I wanted to like jump in on like pretty much all the Hoyo games at some point. I
Oh
I
okay.
actually literally started from like Honkai Impact the Third, like way back when it was just something mentioned like in a YouTuber's ad sponsor reel of it, and I was like, oh, interesting. And this is before like mobile games had like this type of presence that we like know of now, where they were just it looked like they were just kind of cookie cutter type of stuff. And Honkai the Third Impact was super interesting because it was kind of minimized like as far as like you know being between like this I'm gonna just keep saying cookie cutter versus what we know as like AAA games, and it was kind of falling in between. And then Genshin was to promise like an actual like step beyond that. And you kind of know
Okay.
where
Yeah.
like the rest of the story there, but essentially they have three games: Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and then Zenless Zone Zero, in chronological order. Um, but yeah, that is to say that they're all just mobile games that have they're all just gotcha base. They're all free to play. You don't have to spend like a nickel or dime on them like whatsoever, except for maybe like
Okay.
how much you pay for internet. That's literally the only thing, and maybe
Okay, fair.
power,
That's good.
charging your phone and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you're not lying. Yeah. All right.
But yeah,
Well,
that was the only pickup I had because I just wanted an excuse to like build up the catalog and collection. But you really don't need to do that, especially if you're
that's
not
funny.
like jump in onto that like full time. But just have a
I
little
think
bit of history right here.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they had that Hoyoverse is kind of all over the place. Like the fandom is looking pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Um, for the most part, for what I've seen. But I would assume, what is it? At least the games are pretty fun. Probably like Zenless
Mhm.
Zone Zero might be the more like relatable game I'd get. I think that'd be more my speed compared to the other ones.
I would like to see
Um,
like how you would like take to like how they present the game and like what's the gameplay loop.
Oh yeah, that too. And then like the biggest thing is their animation team. Who's ever putting in time for like all these graphics and these character designs to move the way they do, the appeal is there.
Hmm.
So I really like the animation, that's for sure. Uh, compared to like what is it? Well, I mean I've seen some stuff from like Genshin Impact and then Honkai Star Rail. Like their animations are cool, but
Hmm.
like I don't know the way that Zenless Zone looks cool. I'm gonna have to give that a shot at some point.
At some point.
Don't know when though.
Gotcha. But yeah,
But
I'll go ahead and cover this like real quick. And I feel like I wanted to like talk about it because one, it's just something that's like going on like right now. As I just go ahead and
uh-huh.
like put the timestamp, it's actually Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's a sequel to the 2018 Kingdom Come Deliverance that was out for like a good while. Uh,
Oh yeah. How
it's
about that?
it's interesting that they got a sequel first and foremost, but I was trying to like look up like some of the reviews for this one, but it looks really solid. It looks like a much more cleaned up version from like where it was before, just outsider perspective on this one. And
Okay.
I think what really stood out to me with the first game was just how they handled, all the gameplay stuff. It was all first person. I don't know if there was any third person implemented into that game or even this current like installment of it. But it was just so
Okay.
interesting because it almost felt like kind of like a medieval simulator where you're like playing as like a knight and you're doing a lot of things manually as far as like combat. And it seems like they carried it
Gotcha.
forward with this one as well. Um,
Okay.
I did see a wave of the internet. You know how the internet is. Like if there's something controversial in it, they'll definitely call out on it. I'm not here to comment on that, but
What? What happened?
it,
What is
it's
controversial?
it's just
Wait, hold on. You know, yeah,
I
what's the category of it? Like
it's
a maker did it or like a character design? What was it?
it's just how do I describe it without like just like hitting it on the dot? It's representation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
less. I
Yeah,
get it.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I
I got
I
like curious.
personally
I'm
have
like,
no problem with it whatsoever, but clearly the internet does.
oh, bro, let me tell you. But no, I get it. It's for me.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know. Hold on. Side note. I don't know if you noticed, bro. While I'm sitting down,
Hmm.
the lighting on my camera keeps like auto adjusting.
Yeah. Do you have it on auto white balance?
I guess. I don't know. It's never did.
You
I'm like,
know,
why?
yeah. You have to double check your camera settings to see if that's like something you can just kind of lock to something. I have like color temperature like stuff, and it's just stuck at like the typical recommended like daytime setting.
Should have did
As
that.
far as I understand, yeah.
I wonder if hold on. I think I can mess with it while we're doing it. But let's keep talking
Sure.
games. I don't want to slow us off.
Yeah, for sure. Like I know that Gabe actually had been playing through Kingdom Come Deliverance like for a little bit. I don't have his full like take on like the game, but it looks like that's something that's like right up his alley. So I'm pretty sure he's like
Yeah,
very much so
didn't
looking forward to the sequel.
yeah, he played like Civilization and everything, right? He played those RTSs. Is it one of those?
No, it's not actually. It's definitely like it's actually almost kind of the opposite of that. RTS such as like you're kind of like this overarching like almighty being that's controlling units like here and there. And Kingdom Come Deliverance is literally just you playing as the one individual person as a first person.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of like in the simulation. And I
Wow,
think
really?
I guess a way to kind of describe it is that you know, it's like things like go on horseback and you're just seeing it from like the perspective of like you on a horse and you like
Oh
walk
wait,
into
first
like
person?
yeah, first person.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
What?
I would definitely just kind of give it a look and see. Um, I'm not too invest into it, but I know that's something that's kind of gotten quite a bit of acclaim, like from that first game, just being just different. And so I'm
Yeah.
all for like them just doing something different, just within the scope of the community. So hoping for the best. I think
Yeah.
it's been reviewing pretty well though, so I think
Yeah.
they're solid with that.
Hoping for the best, most likely.
Yeah, but it's out this week, so you know people are already like probably playing it right now. So super solid
New
on that.
challenger.
Oh. I looked away for a quick second. I look over to Aniyah. The funny thing is
I was
that
saying, like,
the green screen is unaffected by this.
yo, bro, look at it. It actually looks like I'm just in like neon nighttime in like the 80s or something.
Not
Like Blade
bad.
Runner. Yeah. Oh Jesus. But anyway.
But yeah,
I,
let me just kind of give you or like pop this question to you, Aniyah. What do you think about Fantastic Four, or what's your experience? Because I can tell you, I don't actually
yeah.
have, I don't have a lot of that.
Wait, have you never seen the first one?
I've seen the first one, and then like I vaguely remember Silver Surfer.
Oh shit, that was a movie.
It was a movie.
Bro, you know what? I think the first image that pops in my head was like I think Silver Surfer was like captured, and it was just like him like in in like a room or something, and then like him just looking at Sue, and I'm like, what's happening right now?
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. It's Jessica Alba, come on, but like,
I do remember him giving a lot of gaze towards Jessica Alba.
like, what was he trying to do? He's like, you better watch out, Reed. Like, I don't know what his deal was with Sue, but what is it? Like, what? This is what I got for what I saw.
Silver Surfer for Tekken 8. Why'd you
Yeah,
add him in here? It's because he got the gaze for Jessica Alba.
Cannot. He's gonna be looking. Yeah, he's gonna look at Nina Williams the same way. That'd be kind of crazy. But like, I would just assume, with what I saw, the best looking character to me was the Thing. Like he makes that brow design.
Yeah.
They hit that mess like on the money. He looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like, do I have an issue with everybody else? I don't think so. I know there was like a weird cut that everybody was picky about. I'm like, I don't like y'all. Matter of fact, you know what? The thing is, I don't like both sides.
You don't like both sides.
Like, yeah, there was a part where it was like it just kept looping these two gifts. Like there was something that happened in the scene where where Sue was like using her powers.
Yeah.
And then like it was like one cut, and then it did another cut where she's like looking at the camera. I'm like, okay, that looks stupid. But like it's not that big of a deal. It looks dumb, but it's not that big of a deal. Like there's one side who's kind of like, I don't see the issue with this stuff. I was like, I kind of see the issue. It just looks kind of dumb. But then the people who take it to like, it looks ridiculous, and it's just like they should scrap the whole film kind of vibe. No, that's not. It's not that serious. It just looks kind of there's no real. If I was like, if I get on my Stanley Kubrick thing, I'm like, you know what? What's going on in this frame? And then rule the third, like it just didn't look that like crazy. I don't know. It was just bland. It's just a flat looking shot, and that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because as far as like just aesthetics, like how everybody looks, I think everybody looks fine.
Yeah, pretty much can echo that.
Reading, yeah, like reading Sue. But what's what's the other thing? The funny thing that I'm waiting for is for when Doctor Doom shows up. I wonder how everybody's gonna feel when that happens.
I was curious
That's
because he was not really mentioned at all or shown at all. It was really Magneto, or not. Sorry, not Magneto. Oh my god,
Magneto.
it's like Galactus.
Galactus.
I should know this.
Yeah.
Marvel
Like,
Rivals. Actually, I haven't been playing
yeah,
Marvel
the-
Rivals.
Oh, bro, I don't like hero. I'm not a huge fan of like hero stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, I might play it with friends, but even then, I'm just like, sorry guys, my heart's not in it.
I get that, but yeah, that was kind of the big thing that they showed off as far as like a villain. But obviously, when you talk about Fantastic Four, you talk about Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
and if it's not Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four, it's Doctor Doom in Marvel vs. Capcom.
bro, let's not. Fucking dive kick. That move is horrendous.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to find a.
It's embedded in my memory.
Yeah, like, do you just remember? And he's like disrespectful when he does it too. So it's like, bro, what a jerk! It was like finger blast or whatever it's called. I don't know what that move is. It's disgusting.
Crazy.
Let me see what. Oh my god, they will not let me open this picture in the tab.
I will say though that so far it's looking pretty solid. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen like a Marvel movie, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that. Because I mean I know that we're gonna have Captain America actually this month, right? I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, but aside from that, I'm trying to think of like what was the last Marvel movie? Friday.
I was gonna say, do you count? We don't want to count Deadpool and Wolverine, no?
Oh, we do want to count. Like we do want to count that because that is still Marvel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's still Marvel. Is it Marvel Studios, right?
So yeah, I guess it's just kind of weird because it is dipping into the X-Men stuff, and they're just as far as like reestablishing like those like essentially those two franchises crossing together again. As far as like the mutant stuff and versus like our typical Marvel superhero movies from like the past. Yeah, it definitely feels different because all of a sudden like we're following Deadpool, and Deadpool has been like part of the movies now, but he's been kind of a solo act with like a couple X-Men like popping up as far as, you know, cameos, but this is like a full-fledged like marriage of the two.
You're right. Hold that.
I do feel bad though because that's definitely a Marvel movie. Question, is Kraven a Marvel movie?
Ew, no. They're like the stuff that Sony's pulling. Sony feels kind of like those people who do like fan films. Like I think that's what they're doing because like what's actually happening? Because like wasn't there's a point. I don't know if I want to even watch Kraven. Wasn't there a Sony executive or something that was like upset about nobody liking the movie? It was like, we put a whole bunch of money into this. Why don't they like it? And I'm like, that's somebody put a parallel of like the Smiling Friends because somebody said the same thing. Like we threw a lot of money into this. We thought it'd be good. It's like more money doesn't mean it's good. It just means that y'all just had no creativity. I guess that movie was really lacking.
I like to put it. I like to put it in the non-Spider-Man cinematic universe.
It's just, bro. Yeah, it's a fan film. Good lord.
How dare you say that about Venom? I won't stand for this. That's why I'm sitting. So let's talk about
it. Was good enough to be included, so we'll give Venom a benefit. I haven't even seen it, but I know it's being like received better than Kraven. Like, bro,
probably
this right here. Like, matter of fact, let's see. Looking at like a timeline of last year, Hawkeye was last year. I forgot about that.
What? Like, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, in what capacity? Wait. Hawkeye wasn't last. I was gonna say like no. Hawkeye we've watched like a few years back.
Not gonna lie.
Although I guess there would be some Marvel shows, right? Marvel shows.
No. You know what? Wait, why is this? Oh, that's annoying. this thing is talking about what is this? This is a timeline for like the actual universe. Like
Oh,
this thing
that
said like
okay, gotcha.
they said like 1945. I was like, wait a minute. And then it was talking about like 2026 for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. My bad.
I was gonna say, yeah, that kind of checks out. It's further
I
out
guess
there.
all along.
Oh, I haven't even watched that. I'm gonna be honest
Bro,
with you.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about it. That was last year at least, but
I forgot about Echo as well, but I think that was received
Echo
pretty
wasn't
well.
that year. I think one thing I heard about that show was like it's choreography for fighting. I think it was like a highlight of the series, as far as I know.
Okay, okay. They're not slacking off on that
So you
one.
know
I
what?
can appreciate it. I know
Yeah,
that.
because they had like Daredevil in it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no, their choreography is great.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Daredevil Born Again. Is that what it's called? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I think I had a preview, but is it out yet or is it
Not
coming
out
out
yet.
this year?
Definitely previews right now.
Okay,
And that's
so
looking
on
pretty
top of that,
intense.
yeah, on top of that, with what's his face, this Fantastic Four business. I mean, I'm always hoping. I mean, I don't want people to fail, but I also
True
want
that.
them to like, if they're lacking on something, it's better just like reflect on that and get a little bit more creative. But then it's kind of dumb because what they did with the thing is cool, but everybody's like, well, I say everybody, but there's like a few voices that are like upset about it. I'm like, that looks like the thing to me, man. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, even the one like from back then, it wasn't like comic accurate, I guess, but like considering that, I'm pretty sure that mess is all that mess is practical. Just like this one, like practical effects, they made it work. They made that mess work. It looked good. So I'm gonna assume until I actually see it, which I'm like, I'll think about it. I guess I haven't been really. What was the last movie? What was the last movie I watched? Was Sonic? Like I haven't been really watching that many movies.
I think the last
You know?
thing I like watched in theaters was probably Solo Leveling premiere for season 2.
No way! I forgot they did that.
It was fun,
Funny.
but you know how that is.
Nah, I feel it. That's hilarious. Yeah,
Mm.
honestly, I think I'll give it a shot. Well, I watched this movie out of spite.
Out of
I hate when
spite.
people, yeah, like when people talk about something before it's even out. Like, don't get me wrong, first impressions are important.
Mhm.
And on this impression, it doesn't look horrible. It's like, matter of fact, I've never read like the original Fantastic Four.
Same.
That's like the fit, right? I think the fit that they're going for is that because even the time setting that that is taking place in, it looks, vintage. I don't know, like 80s, 70s. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
But,
it's a weird timeline thing. I have no idea though.
I think that's what's going on with it. So it looks cool. But I mean, with that, I like anything that do something different. Hopefully they do it right. Some writing's gonna be corny, but like it is what it is. Hopefully they do some good. They do something good with it. When is it coming out? That's important.
Oh yes, I actually have it right here. So July 25th. So it's in summertime.
That's a waste. Oh, okay. I'll watch it. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I can make some time to
100%.
watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was there another movie? Yeah, the movie you said
not that I have written down. No.
yeah, when you said the thing about Marvel, I was like, man, what was the thing with Marvel? Last thing was Deadpool and Wolverine for me, so I don't know if there's anything else I missed.
Yeah, I'd have to like deep dive into that. And honestly, I probably should have done the research prior. But yeah, that's the last one I remember like coming out. And even then, it was like, oh, I had to actually like think about that. Think about like that as a Marvel movie. What was the last one? I guess it would have to have been Deadpool.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Marvel's
They've
be all right.
they've been
They're not
they've been branching
losing.
out for sure, and they have been for a good while.
Yeah.
All right, so
Let's see. Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead.
Fantastic Four looks interesting. It's gonna be all right.
Gotcha.
I hope.
I hope. We all are so hopeful for it. Let me go ahead and jump into the next thing. It's a couple of like things packed into one. It's regarding the Capcom spotlight that happened this past week. Yeah, plus the Monster Hunter Wilds showcase. So you know how the Capcom spotlight is. It pretty much highlights everything that they got going on, both like in the future and also from the past too. Typically, I would love as far as like presentation stuff, I would definitely prefer that they talk about like new content stuff. But this is what they want to do, so fair enough. But some of the new stuff that they brought up, and I feel so bad that like Phil's not here for this. They were talking about Street Fighter 6. This past week, Mai's been made available. As far as like an additional like character roster. So they've been just kind of like going over all the things that are gonna be like involved with her as far as like what was that, a character like pass or something like that, like kind of like a
Yes.
battle pass of sorts. And
Yeah.
then they were talking about Elena for a little bit next year or year two, and that was pretty much the only thing they wanted to like highlight was the fact that she's now in as the current fighter. So that's very nice. They also talked a little bit about Capcom Cup. $1 million. What? That's kind of that's kind of
Yeah.
intense.
What is it? Oh, they're gonna get taxed. But
Oh,
what's his face?
Damn.
But like, what is it? Because that happened. Wasn't it last year or last year or the first year when it came out? I don't know. A jury player won.
It was
So that was
2023.
funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, jury player got it. I main jury, but holy God, man! I remember I watched a couple of jury players in like local tournaments. No man, they're a different breed when they're actually like pro or like high players, bro. Especially when they have like when it's just regular arcade stick. I don't know what's going on, bro. Because there's like some points where like you move faster with like what she has the is it the feng shui engine? It's like when her eye gets like when her eye lights up and
yeah.
her eye patches off. Yeah, like Kenpachi on some bleach mess, bro. Like she just goes ham. And I'm thinking, you have to really like lock in on that game, especially when it comes to like the frame speed and everything. But I feel kind of bad though. It's been a minute since I played Street Fighter, and I have like I have my fight stick that I was probably gonna dedicate more to Street Fighter than Tekken. And I at least want to give it a shot. It's just like, bro, even watching that stuff, I'm not going into ranked anytime soon. I'm just gonna enjoy playing it while I can.
Sure.
Such a fun game. But wait, did anybody have an issue with like the pass or anything? Because from what I heard, general consensus of because I was watching Max's stream the other day. She's like, she looks fine. Like they have like the types of the characters. Her and Terry and like I'm pretty sure another character are like considered normal, while you have like easy characters, tricky characters, and stuff like that. They're considered normal. Now, what that means as far as like approaches with those characters, not necessarily sure. But I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what people would expect as far as like or like what they would hope for that a character has, because she looks fun. Like her setups and everything look pretty good. Just playing her in general looks fine. It's like you get down with the most characters I see in that game. So
I don't think I saw anything bad as far as feedback, but that was definitely one of the big things that Capcom actually had as far as new stuff. So I always applaud that.
Blessings.
They did talk about MVC fighting. MVC like fighting collection, arcade classics, the full government name. And I was like, are they really showing it off again? But it's because the Xbox version is finally out. And just like moth to a flame, the Wowzer's there too.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
watch yourselves, everybody.
Did you because wait, it's the beta or is it already out?
It's out. Oh wait, are you talking Monster Hunter? Sorry. That's also
Monster Hunter, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's out too. I was just kind of going through it chronologically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's super nice that MVC is also on Xbox as well, so it's just like across all parties you can all play that, so that's great. And then they followed up with Capcom Fighting Collection 2, not to be mistaken with MVC, but that they were just talking about all the different features, and that's launching in May, so that's pretty nice. I was trying to think like what was going on in May. I think sorry, I was thinking about like one of the conventions. I think that's happening in June though, early June this time around.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's probably gonna. Bill's definitely psyched and stoked for Fighting Collection 2.
I think wait, we all have the first one, right? You have it, right?
I do, yeah. Not physically, but I do have it.
Gotcha. Oh, buddy.
Any thoughts on it?
Oh,
Or
Like, first of all, I'm definitely buying them. I would. These are gonna be a bunch of games that I never had like a lot of time with, but let's see. Even with like old MVC, like we played all through them last time we went to Phil's house. But as
mhm,
far as like growing up, I will only have like limited experiences with it because I never owned them and I never had like too much time going to the arcades.
mhm.
Like what, dude? Power Stone. Never played either of them. There was two of them. Project Justice, never heard of her. Like there's a bunch of games I just never knew. So I'm just like, I'm glad that I have a chance to do that. I feel like that's a good thing to keep that in mind. When they have a huge catalog of games, like it kind of sucks that they won't have like a modern version, like the stuff that happened with Darkstalkers.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure how they're gonna make that mess work. But like what we have now, you might as well put it in a collection so that way people don't miss out on them. And they
True.
did. So we get to play these games. So it's like I got no beef with any of them.
Hmm.
Honestly, I just like having it as like something to play, of course, but then like just a reference point of what they started from to what we have now. I always like seeing that transition with these games.
Mm.
Plasma Sword? Never heard of it.
Plasma Sword. It is nice that
Never
they
heard of
actually have
it.
it as far as like a collection, because I think given just the current I'm trying to, what's the actual word for it? I guess the current terrain, sorry. I
Yeah.
don't know if Darkstalkers could like really stand out and be something that's like a mainstay for like fighting games, as far as like I guess mainstream fighting games. Obviously, you'll find like a cult following no matter what, but as far as like keeping
Mhm.
it mainstream and continue to support it, that could be kind of tough,
Yeah,
especially for fighting
I
games of
usually
this day and age.
yeah, you're right. I usually tune into because shoot, I mean, I usually just watch your video games, Max and all them, right? Get their 2 cents because the way they break stuff down is super interesting to me as far as like people who actually they grew up on that stuff.
Hmm.
So given like I don't know if there's a lot I disagree on. I think when I hear them talk about it, but Max was talking about the thing with Darkstalkers. Like I never understood it to a point where they mentioned uh the issue with Darkstalkers like okay, first of all, we all know we like Morgan, tickle bitties, whatever the fuck, right? But it's more of like just the appeal of their horror style themed characters, but there's like some loony stuff that happens with it.
Hmm.
Like Morgan's like a succubus, but she's like a mecha. Like you'll see like some stuff where she shoots missiles. Like that doesn't
Oh,
make any
huh.
sense. Yeah, right. And
Crazy.
then you have like another character. What's that wolf who fight? Like he's a
Hmm.
werewolf, but he's
Mhm.
like a Bruce Lee type. Like that doesn't that's a little weird.
Crazy. What?
So like they have like a crazy appeal of like there's like a sense of like horror or like a mature theme. I think there's bloodshed in the game, like animated blood, right? I think
I'm
so.
pretty sure.
It's not like I don't think it was like a huge appeal. Maybe I don't think so. I don't think it was like a huge appeal like Mortal Kombat, but they
Hmm.
have like graphic graphic content in a sense, right?
Sure.
So with the amalgamation of loony behavior with these like horror themed characters, like there's a character based off of Frankenstein, kind of,
Hmm.
but I think he fights with his butt. I don't want to lie to you. I think that was
Whoa.
I think I think that's something he does. But then you have it's a vampire, werewolf, Frankenstein type, succubus, zombie, like all these horror film kind of characters, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's just like what can you sell them on? I don't know. The bigger part that sold people on Darkstalkers was the animation. Because people talk about the frames and the cool animation style to this day. On top of like just the game having like solid mechanics, I don't think people have like an issue, as far as I understand.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing like a mug, but I swear, I can get on with that and like understand how that's gonna be. How can you sell that? It's gonna be a little tough to sell.
Hmm.
Is there a way? Probably, but like compared to like the current ones, like the Titans and fighting games right now,
It's tough.
yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard to wave through that.
Yeah, especially when they're just trying
Uh,
to make their own moves just to make themselves like relevant. You have Street Fighter and
so
just like literally Capcom's own like it's a
Yeah,
Capcom fighting
Capcom
game
fighting
too,
itself.
and fighting themselves,
Yeah.
aka the fighting collection.
This is ironic too. So with this collection, right, with all the
Mhm.
games that we never had a chance to play, at least there's a way of like respecting and enjoying the iteration that it came out with.
Yeah,
Hopefully, like I think like then they like kind of like fine tune it, right? Don't they kind of like touch up some of the things in here,
maybe.
like what they did with the they did it with Marvel versus Capcom, where like you have training mode now, and then they have like hit boxes and practice mode, like this stuff that
Oh,
they
those kind of
added
things.
as far as
Yeah.
like the quality of life of the game.
I don't know about
I
like the
think they did
first
it.
game, but I'm pretty sure the second game will have it. I think
Yeah,
they're kind of on top of knowing what's kind of like demanded in like the modern era of fighting games. That they'll be like, okay, well, we added a couple new things just to make sure that it streamlines with everybody, especially if you want to like take it competitively, because essentially that's what the collection is for too.
yeah, they got all this stuff for like online. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
The net code's good. All
That's
right, but
definitely a plus there. And the next thing that they
yeah,
got going on here, it was regarding Okami, actually, the sequel. So they didn't really like touch up on this. It was more over, if you didn't see the Game Awards for this one, then here it is. Here's the announcement of like Okami sequel. That's been like
say
confirmed.
less,
They
say
took
less. I'm gonna
they took this opportunity to plug in Kunitagami Path of the Goddess, was came out like I think now a few years ago. And they're bundling that with Okami HD. If anyone's not played that, that was
oh,
featured in your top 10. I remember that.
yeah, it was wasn't it numbers? Was it number 6?
I think it was pretty high up there. I don't actually have the listing like from the top of my head, but
Yeah, honestly, yeah, no, it's been a minute because what? Because now I'm curious. I'm pretty sure it was number. It's like number 6 or number 7.
Hmm.
My thing was I didn't know they bundled it together.
As
I'll
like it's part of a deal, yeah.
yeah, because I think that's pretty cool. But that Kisugami game, it was pretty unique. Like it was
Hmm.
a different kind of game. I want to give it a shot because I really like how it looks. I don't think I've ever seen like is there a bad Capcom looking game? I don't think so.
They've
And
definitely
my
taken their own
immediate
risk for sure.
yeah, right. Super. That's what I respect about it. I'm like y'all some ambitious people as far as like artistic direction, right? But
Hmm.
yeah, Okami, bro, just I mean, just tell me that the date is set in stone and I'm fine. I'm buying it. Like if there's like a if there's like a list, if there's just like a list of well, I'm pretty sure they'll have like, standard edition, blah blah blah. If there's just like somewhere on that list of what it's gonna come out as, whatever the most expensive, I'm getting it. So it's gonna be no question. Oh,
Would
you
you?
know what? It was number 7.
Oh, oh, it was actually pretty far back. Okay, I thought it was like
Mm,
4 or 5. I was like,
You know what it
damn,
was? Nah, it's just a bunch of other games that I was really considering. Cause
that's
man,
fair.
dude, Nine Souls,
It was number 2,
Astrobot, and
right?
Haunty were on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nine Souls was number 2. Astrobot was 3. Haunty was 4. Um, Plucky Squire was number 5, and then Black Myth Wukong was right above Okami. So
Mm,
good stuff.
gotcha.
I wonder. I think I still agree with this list. All things considered for last year.
That's
Um,
good.
bro, bro, but man, Okami's. I mean, it was number 7, but it was a good game. Like I'm gonna save his graces, bro. I just didn't realize, man. I'm like kind of mad that I missed out on it when it was still out. Because you know what it was? This is okay. This is not quite side note, right? But this is kind of like just like a whole as far as like you know how people are talking about like we're so back with gaming and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
So back.
we've never really left. Like nothing was really wrong with gaming. It was just this is how people keep themselves from finding like better games or like more enjoyable games. You just limit yourself. Like I don't like what is it? I say I don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based RPGs, right?
Ugh.
But a few years ago when I had my Vita,
Hmm.
but when I had my Vita, it was
I
I
will.
played yeah, what is it? I played
Persona?
Persona 4 Golden.
I do remember that
Yeah.
talk.
I was like, but then like of course I played Pokemon, right? Like I already know about turn-based RPGs.
Hmm.
But like there was just a certain style. Matter of fact, if you get jazz in the game, I'm probably gonna stay with you for like a go while. Dude, the music in Persona is like it's like super tier. Like I don't know, it's up there, right?
Mm.
So on top of like the dedication, right? I think like that game, it didn't have full voice acting, but like a good amount of voice acting was in that thing. I want to say,
So
like I
admirable,
remember, yeah, like majority of scenes have voice acting. So dedication to record that and stuff, the production in that is good. So I value things that have like a lot of quality of life to it. And then it was just fun to play. Like it's just all about the art direction to it. And then like it tapped into like something like a philosophical side, like the whole appeal of the game, or like the structure of like the shadows and persona themselves is based off like this philosophy, right? So I always thought that was interesting. It just depends on like what parts are going to speak to me in an RPG compared to like my usual thing of like, can I just run up and beat this thing up, which is usually why I like playing Dark Souls games, like action adventure, like any combat game I'm cool with. But like if you just step outside of that, you end up seeing like all this other stuff that comes in that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm hearing all these people say like the respect for like Okami, like that just wasn't me back then, and I just stayed away from it. So when I got to play it last year, I was like, bro, I done missed out on something that I related to. I just didn't give it a chance. So man, I'm just like, y'all, some people just got to give these games a chance. And then it's so well renowned to where like it has an HD version and a sequel coming out, because it's like people already knew, especially the people who play games like hardcore. Like I don't know, man. If Okami coming out with a sequel, I don't know. Like I don't think they can mess it up. Like most people, you know, like you can mess it up, but I don't think they will. Basically, I don't think they're gonna mess that up. So thank you, Capcom. They, after that whole nonsense they dealt with like Street Fighter, was it Street Fighter 5? Street Fighter 5 was like a really hard point for them. Now they're back in the graces of like,
so back,
yeah, right. Yeah, see, that is the definition of like we're back. Like they had like a high point of like being the trailblazers of fighting games. Then they had like, oh my goodness, we're going off road, and then now we're going back up. Like so, I'm all for it, man. There's a lot of good things happening with video games, so it's like it's always been there. It just it took some time.
That's true. It's interesting because I think we have a couple games that are like they're coveted as being like maybe ahead of its time, or just not within like the time it was like needed or wanted or desired. Like the whole wave of like battle royales, for example, that essentially Fortnite has essentially like popularized like throughout, even to this day, right? So much so that you've seen like loads of other successful, if not, they happened and then they just got dropped off, other battle royales. And I think there's definitely a demand for it, but like it requires the right type of like demand. Concord's an example of that. Well, yeah, it's not battle royale, but it's a hero shooter that unfortunately kind of missed the point there.
I just I think is a better way of dealing with approaching a game with like what's the word? I said it a couple of times. The evergreen approach, where it's like I'd rather just focus on like the staying power of something instead of riding like a wave. But then at the same time, sometimes like riding that wave, if you figure out a way of making it stick around for a while, then yeah, it could still work. Because like with Fortnite, never played the game, right? But you cannot deny that game is fun. I've seen it enough to like understand it. And then like the fact that they're still going, they did something recently. Jujutsu Kaisen again? Like,
oh my god!
It's like, wasn't it like the first 3 was what? Wasn't it like Gojo?
Essentially, yeah, Gojo, Itadori,
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
just the main cast, and now it's like the villains.
Yeah, right.
Mahito, Sukuna, Toji.
Yeah, they didn't put well, I don't know if they ever would. I was thinking like Nobara.
They did.
Nobara.
They did it.
Oh,
like
she's in it
in the first wave. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay. I was like, they got like a whole heap of characters. If they're already getting those characters, man, the fact that they got Sukuna now with them the Jordans, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like it's a wild stuff.
The kitchen's real.
Yeah, it's so stupid. there's just like an appeal that keeps happening with like an already solid set of mechanics you can enjoy with this game.
Mhm.
I think because even then there was a point where people were like, I like OG Fortnite. I don't know. People were never satisfied, I guess. It seemed like there's just like you just have to approach this stuff a little bit more. I sometimes I can't even say creatively because even like what we're talking about with Kitsugami, that game is unique, right? But
It
it
is
doesn't
very
seem
unique.
like it was like it just doesn't seem like it was talked about a bunch.
Yeah. That's tough because, I think when you're trying to introduce like essentially a new IP, even if it's like very unique enough in its mechanics, I guess it kind of depends on, I guess if there's a demand for it, and that kind of can take over quite a bit. Like the whole wave of Metroidvanias, and then there's Hollow Knight.
Oh, Hollow Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin' what is it? What was it? Oh, Nine Souls of the bro. Like that's why I think it just depends on how my angle would definitely be creativity. Cause like Hollow Knight, solid, right? I don't know how many years has it been since Hollow Knight came out?
It's a good while, yeah.
It's been a minute, right? But then like there's a game, Nine Souls came out. Metrovania 2D animation type game, and it stands out on its own. And it's a great game. There's just I don't know. Sometimes I think like you definitely gonna have to take a risk when it comes to like trying new things out anyway. I think people just don't want to do that. Like I don't think people want to take risks as far as like finding out new games that are still around.
I get
weird, but yeah. I don't know, man.
I feel that.
Game has always been solid. That's how I feel.
Otherwise, I think Capcom has been doing a solid job on their end, just upkeeping on things that are kind of trending, but also kind of like focusing on things that initially made them like so popular as far as like their games, because a lot of the games are pretty unique in what they do. Now the next part of what I think chronologically what happened in this showcase was that they kind of showed off some older games. Say what you will, I personally want them just to cover like new stuff, but they take this time to just kind of spotlight everything that they've had going on recently. So, Dead Rising, for example, like the remaster of that one that came out last year, they spotlight this one as well. I'm trying to remember. There was another one. I think it was something Resident Evil related. That they showed off.
As a matter of fact, they even showed what is it? Because I popped up the spotlight. I just saw it. That is Resident Evil. Oh, okay. It's on mobile.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did. That is on mobile. So I mean, take it as nice. Take it how it is. The fact they could run like, I think my phone can run Resident Evil 8. So I mean, that's kind of crazy. I wouldn't, but the fact that I can is pretty impressive.
Was it Resident Evil 8?
It was.
I was seeing Resident Evil. I saw Resident Evil 2, and then what's this? The I forgot about this.
Did they show off too?
Yeah, and then Dead Rising.
Yeah.
The R or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Something like that. DRDR2? Or no, DRDR
yeah,
Remastered.
Like that,
yeah, or
I'm like, I'll probably give it a shot. Maybe. But what else?
It was pretty unique. The next thing before Monster Hunter was Onimusha. So again, another thing where it's like, hey, listen, if you weren't at the Game Awards, here it is. Onimusha Way of the Sword. That's still coming out in 2026, but I believe, and I didn't really watch it to like see what they actually covered, but I think they were talking about how they want to like approach this new game as far as like design the characters, how they want to focus on like combat and whatnot. But that wasn't the only thing about Onimusha. It looks like they're actually remastering Onimusha 2, Samurai Destiny, and that's going to have this remaster released this year. So that's a pretty big thing. Similar to how Ninja Gaiden had that Shadow Drop.
That was crazy. Yeah.
That was insane.
But honestly, I did watch the part on Onimusha when I saw this. Maybe let's say Dark Souls. That's what Max and them are saying, right? Like that's what we're assuming. The director was saying that they want to focus more on like the appeal or the feeling of the combat. They want the combat to be like the highest trait to focus on. Because honestly, the way that is looking, like even just even looking at his gauntlet and the way that he collects souls or whatever the heck, where he's collecting the Onis or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, that's pretty good for like it being like Capcom's Dark Souls thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not gonna be like the crazy appeal that most Darks fans have, like with me.
Mm.
I mean, it's the most frustrating part. It's the difficulty. The thing that you get with like Dark Souls is like it's a difficult game that you roll with like stamina and all this other nonsense, right? The trial and error in that game, I don't think it's gonna be as like prevalent in Onimusha. You'll just have like a maybe like even like what happened with Black Myth Wukong. Like that was
saying
kind of
forgiving to an extent.
Yeah, it was super forgiving. Cause like I think unless I just didn't notice, I don't think I lost out on like souls. Like there's no souls that I ended up losing when I died. There wasn't like a place to go and find it in the world and then collect it to have another chance to lose it again. I don't think it had that. That's what I would assume that Onimusha would do. It would be an easier way of like incorporating what people enjoy from like Dark Souls as far as like the combat and maybe its level design. Because when you see Onimusha, like I remember playing that game a while ago when I had like a PlayStation of my own, and I remember buying it at like some random game store, and I was just like, right across from the comic book shop. This looks neat. I never put it together, but it was like the best way of saying that it's like it's just Resident Evil with samurais. The tank controls, the camera angles, and all the stuff they were doing, very reminiscent of Resident Evil. So of course, yeah, I was like, I just didn't put two and two together that it was Capcom. I was like, oh, makes a lot of sense. But even from this trailer, like assuming how the game is gonna be now, maybe you know what? Maybe even what's his face? It is Capcom, so what? Devil May Cry, but like Dark Souls. I don't know. It's gonna be like a lot of combat involved. I forgot the name of the director was talking. It was so cool the way he was talking about it because he was like something about making it intense battles. Yeah, the heat of it. So like while you're fighting, they want that to be like fun, challenging but fun. So whenever you hit that stuff, and then like even looking at like what's
a good sign
in this frame where, yeah, like looking at the frame when it says intense battle, it looks like the angle of like Sekiro. Ooh. So like you might end up running into that stuff.
Okay.
So hey man, I got high hopes for this game. Like I don't think anybody who was a huge fan of like the earlier ones had a big issue with Onimusha. I felt like it was a relatively positively received game. I think it was pretty good. So the fact that they have like a fan base and then showing off like new demographics to this, I don't think they're gonna miss with this one. I feel like it's gonna be solid.
Yeah.
It's like how can you miss with this? Look at that! What is that? What are you looking at that thing, bro?
I don't think we have anything to worry about as far as Onimusha, especially when they're wanting to like kind of get you prepped up with like a remaster of Onimusha 2.
Exactly. It's gonna be great.
I'm kind of on your same boat, except for the fact that I've actually never played any Onimusha. But I feel like if I do jump into it, it'll be one of those things where I'll be so mad over the fact that I never played it. I mean, it could be like it was something of a console exclusivity thing. That's why I never really heard much about it. But
yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's like, oh man, I wish I could have gotten into something like this.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair for me to say that I was like a big fan of it. I had it, I played it, but like never enough to call myself a fan. I can appreciate it, but I can't call myself a fan. Maybe this might be the game that put me onto it. Oh, wait a minute! If they did a remaster of the second one, and I think there's like a third one, right?
I don't know the history on like that.
Yeah, I gotta look into it. But just imagine, matter of fact, I just record some gameplay of that. That looks fun. The game looks good. And then it just like lead all the way up. Because I mean, like what, next year? Got plenty of time to like appreciate the series until then.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was an Onimusha TV series. It's
what?
Yeah, I believe this is actually like pretty new. Yeah, it's Netflix's thing. They November 2023.
Really?
They had a show.
Bro, was it live action or animated?
Animated.
Okay, thank God. I'll probably end up checking it out. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna see nobody with like, man, oh come on, all those. Unless it just depends on who's making the production if it was live action. But holy, bro, Animate that thing.
Hmm.
Crazy. Oh, sidebar, Capcom related, but sidebar. DMC.
Oh, my
Did
God, I
you
forgot about that.
hold on, dude? Did you know that the intro is Limp Bizkit? Did you see the intro
I
to
did.
the dude?
Yeah, I did.
But then
It's
like,
so
but
funny.
then it's like
But
it's
also,
based off of AMV. Did you know that?
no, actually,
Dude, somebody was like, this guy saw the future. And it's just like like, I don't know how many years. Was it 15 years old? It was a 15-year-old like AMV somebody made for it, and it had Limp Bizkit. I was like, that that's a weird deep cut. It doesn't make any sense to me. That is so funny, bro. That's hilarious.
homie saw
Oh,
that and finally was able to project that several years later.
yeah, dude. Who knows? He might have been the guy who uploaded that YouTube video.
Oh my
That'd be
God,
hilarious.
that's so funny. I thought it was
Good
interesting. I
lord.
thought it was an interesting take, but also made it feel like it was a part of history from way back. So I had to
You
applaud
know,
that.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you definitely captured like whatever time frame that we got like DMC in.
Yeah.
Like Devil May Cry came in uh like how the do you remember the first scene in Devil May Cry? Like the first one?
No.
Oh dude, when like Dante's just chilling eating pizza and he's doing the most ridiculous mess fighting demons with a
Hmm.
chair. It was crazy. It's like
So they're
it was
gonna
such a
recreate that, huh?
I mean, hopefully they do. I'm gonna see. I gotta watch it. But it's just like that's the kind of tone that I think fits with the series.
Hmm.
Now, getting one of the actual tracks makes more sense to me. But I'm not too against the Limp Bizkit thing. It is funny.
It is funny, but
Cause like what is it?
I did see someone's edit, and I actually mistook this as the original like recording. I thought it was them literally overlaying like the actual like main theme into that opening, and it kind of fit. I thought like that's actually really good, but then it turned out to be the Limp Bizkit one, which is not bad, but it was just a definite take.
Yes, I think that's probably what it was. I think people would have appreciated just more of the original score, whatever theme you got from the actual game.
Hmm.
But I mean, like, I don't know if I don't. Yeah, I take it or leave it. Yeah, you know, I'm fine with how it is, as long as the
Hmm.
show's good. I'm just hoping the show's
Right,
good.
right.
So we're gonna get to that at some point.
That reminds me, I need to watch
Um,
Castlevania again.
yeah, same. Bro, I haven't even finished season whatever the heck happened with old boy with Richter.
Hmm.
But let me see. Getting
Let me.
off of that tangent, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's all
The
Monster Hunter at this
the
point.
last bit is Monster Hunter, and don't worry, guys. I'll keep this relatively brief too. Um, so they have their beta, a second beta, and you know it's happening like here. It's happening next weekend, so they're splitting it up. One weekend, this weekend, and then the following weekend as well. Before the game actually launches, so they're pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah.
nearly done with the game and everything. But with this new beta, they're introducing for people to like have a chance to fight the flagship monster, which is Arkfeld, which is an interesting, cool like design where it's a lightning based like dragon of sorts, but it uses like this tail like made of chains, or it could be like a separate appendage that can use chains like as far as the mechanics. And I thought that's
Really?
super crazy.
The heck?
They're also introducing a returning monster from like the franchise. I just don't know how to pronounce
Okay.
it. It's like Gypseros. I have no idea like
Wow.
what this one works as, but super nice that they're like bringing in like all these different monsters, like both new and old. In this reiteration of the beta, they're also throwing in training areas, private lobbies if you just don't want to like just go out like fully like out into the community and whatnot.
That's
And
cool.
I think that's everything. I think that's everything. But I haven't really been able to try it out. They have also released on like separate from the actual beta, like a benchmark thing. So what you do is that you'll boot this up separately. It kind of loads up just like a Monster Hunter game, but it's just you being able to change and tweak settings of how the game would normally run, and then run a benchmark, and it'll show you the consistent frame. And this is just all PC, so they'll run
Okay, yeah.
through how many frames that you're gonna get like consistently over the course of like this entire like benchmark, which takes about like 15-20 minutes maybe, because it goes through like the opening cutscene. It shows like some gameplay samples of like what it's going to be like to actually run through it, and the obvious benefits if you're able to utilize frame generation and upscaling and stuff like that, because this is a pretty
Oh,
intensive Monster Hunter game that eats a lot of
bro, yeah,
resources.
you
So,
ask a lot, honestly.
in fact,
Um,
my gaming PC is actually, as far as the CPU itself, is the bare minimum that they're asking for. So I was like, oh, that's
geez, really?
kind of intense, actually. Oh, I mean, you can get this CPU like for pretty cheap now, but like that's still a lot.
Uh, mm,
Pretty hungry, but I was able to
yeah,
find something that was suitable for me. So super nice that I was able to kind of jump in on the second time. Now that I know what I was missing out on the previous one, but yeah, I haven't been able to test out the beta since it just came out, and I've just been
yeah,
doing
I see
things.
it.
So yeah, I'm super
Uh,
excited for that. I think I paid off every single game like for February, maybe except for Monster Hunter. So it's like, I'm trying to like
yeah.
budget
Oh,
down. So we'll
yeah.
see. I don't know if I can like lump this for next. Well, yeah, actually, technically, the game comes out at the end of like February. So if I wait just a little bit, it'll just be part of my March spending instead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got to think ahead of the game. But yeah, no, I feel it.
Oh yeah,
Dang, that's gonna be crazy.
a separate topic actually. But
Mhm.
something about like spending some money here and there. Crunchyroll actually, I think it was last night when I was just like logging in
Okay.
back onto it. It logged me out as far as like my membership and everything like that. I was like, what's going on? Like, and then I checked to see like, oh, I guess they're rolling in a new plan, which is the annual plan. It's a little cheaper than the monthly, just
Bro,
like a few dollars.
always go
So
annual.
yeah, so
Mhm.
I did that, but the problem is that it's already like an upfront cost, which kind of looks bad when you're like just dollar cost averaging month to month. So I was like,
Oh yeah.
okay, I'll just do it.
Yeah. It's like more or less taking that, well, yeah, just taking that on the chin at that moment, and then you don't have to worry about it for 365 days.
True
It's a lot
that.
of hours.
So fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll justify that.
Yeah, honestly,
And
hold on. What else? Just to even kind of tap in on like
Mon
the whole
Hunt,
thing with, well, Monhunt, yeah. So my thing is ah dedicating time to it, because don't I have
actually, do you have a Monster Hunter game?
I, I do. I have Worlds.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute, yeah. 'Cause I never got Iceborne or whatever the heck was.
But you just had like default like Monster Hunter
Yeah.
worlds.
But like it was it's just too much time. It's too much
It
time to
it is
dedicate.
definitely a time sink.
And it's not a bad game. So I'm just thinking like oh wait. Uh-oh.
Hmm?
Uh, wait. Wait a minute.
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Those who are listening right now, Nai's like currently like sifting through his PlayStation like library right now, and
Have I been lying to myself this whole time? Because I
oh
have
no,
played.
have you gaslit yourself into the gaming community?
Did I? Wait.
That's a wild
No.
thing. I expected better of you,
Oh,
Nai.
no, no, wait a minute. Because I had the
Man, Nai, lying on in February, that's crazy.
you gotta hear me out. Wait, I have Hellblade? Wait.
Hellblade. Why does that sound
Anyway.
familiar? Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Oh
it's the
yeah.
lady with
Oh, it's Asuna and everything.
yeah, it's the Suda. Okay, hold on.
Okay, gotcha,
Hold on.
gotcha.
Hold on. I'm mad right now. Did I not buy this game? I swear I had it.
Is it
Because I
digital?
made it. That's what I'm thinking. But like I remember making my character look like an actual character I had. Because I drew a character. Well,
Hmm.
two. Um Sasha and Tora.
I remember
Um
that.
yeah, and like because one of your companions is a cat, and that's what my character had. She had a cat companion. So I was like, why not? Um what? Nah, man. Was it one of those games that, because I
PlayStation
remember having
Plus.
Elden Ring. Bro, yeah, maybe? No, because I thought like, yeah, man, the Matrix. It's just like be deprogrammed right now. Anyway, nah, I'm not gonna lie to myself. I know I have it, but either way, my friend what is it, Daniel? Daniel was playing it too, and I think
Shoutouts.
he yeah, he definitely has more time with like Monster Hunter than I do. Um, but it's just like as much as I enjoy those games, like the feel of like actually going on a hunt and like taking them out, super cool, bro. Like they don't mess around with like the actual investment you have to put in. I swear. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, when I get this game, I don't want to treat it like Pokemon, because like I have Pokemon, and I'm like I play it sometimes, but like it's just the investment, bro. Oh
It's
man, 'cause
tough.
it looks so good. The game looks so good. Um, man, I, I'm trying to think of like
Hmm.
how we could make this work. Cause like you're getting the game, right?
I will, yeah. I'm not sure
Okay.
day one. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so like it doesn't have to be a day one purchase, right? But like even when we get what is it? A good number of us to play it, I'm just thinking like
Oh,
how
that'd be
often we
fun.
would. So it's like I want to play the game. It's just, bro, it's too many games. Like you gotta figure
There's
out
just
what's
too
gonna
many
be
games.
like to prioritize which ones to play. Because I'm
Mhm.
always gonna play Tekken's gonna be in rotation. That has to be.
Has
Like,
to.
but like I want to play Street Fighter again. Like on top of everything that's coming out, and then they hit us with this game that looks great, time intensive. How we gonna do it? Is that's my biggest hurdle right now because I want the game.
That's
Ah,
tough. Yeah,
I mean, we'll figure it out. But geez,
even me, it's just like trying to find like time to do it. It has to be part of the main rotation. I was really big on Monster Hunter Rise because of that.
yeah, it looked good. Oh yeah, I didn't even play. That was one on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Originally.
never played it, but it just looked fun. The way that Monster Hunter Rise was, as far as like what I saw, it looked hilarious. But
Mhm.
just do I
I
have the
think
time, you know?
honestly, like if you get used to the rotation or the gameplay loop for Rise, it's
Mhm.
very much so a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of like mobility options for that one, and I think with Wilds, it kind of I wouldn't say it simmers down on that one in the sense that it's a negative on its part. I think it's just focusing on different things. You get a mount, so that still works, and that's carried over. But the mobility, like as far as wire bugs and stuff like that, for those you know, you know, that's
Mhm.
not quite there, but it's replaced with something else. So I mean, I think it's just gonna be a whole different experience. And I mean, shoot, dude, it looks crazy. There's a part
Yeah.
in the benchmark test that they show food. It That's all I can say. It just looks crazy when you see them rip this like this bread apart. I was like, there's no way. With
You
the
serious?
cheese.
Bro, what was a cheddar biscuit? Like what they do with the cheese?
it's
That's
like
crazy.
I promise you, it's just like non bread, and it's just like a whole thing of cheese that you just dump on it, and there's like beans on the side, and that's it. That's all it is. And then somehow they've been able to like glorify that, and everyone's like, bro.
Y'all make, y'all making it sound, you ever seen like you know about like animation where they make food look like bomb in anime?
Oh,
Is it kind of like that same regard, but like the
kinda.
crazy amount of
The amount
that
of detail in
detail in
it,
the game?
it's insane.
Cheese, bro.
It's
Cheese.
insane.
He said the cheese, bro.
Dude, they have
When
like a
they eat
little
the Buddha.
in that same scene, they have like your main dude, like whoever he decides to design him, he'll like take a little bit of that like non bread and just like swipe it against the beans and then eat it. I was like, come on, come on,
He said it's all benchmark, I swear.
crazy.
That all right, okay. Like again, I'm already sold on this game, but
Hmm.
bro, gotta find some time. Gotta find a
Hmm.
way to like and put that in rotation, I guess. Um,
Like, why do they do this?
yeah, right. Like it's like you already got me. Why you keep putting you keep showing me more?
We can actually move on to the next thing afterwards. Let me just make sure I mark this so it's like 124 or something like that. The Nintendo
Dude.
patent. I should go ahead and just like talk about that real quick. Or actually, no, actually, let me just dial it back. Let's talk about the NSO update. So we have
Oh yeah.
here a new add-on. So this is like week 2 here. I think they've been like adding more and more stuff here. I just haven't really kept track of it. But the NSO update is for Wario Land 4. I can't really give you a lot of context as far as like what's about and like how well it's been received, but you know, if Phil was here, he would say this is literally one of his favorite Game Boy Advance games. So that says a lot.
Oh yeah, for real, for real.
So I think that's a great gem to like just add on to this library, considering the fact that they're not going anywhere with the NSO. So super solid. That's coming out on the 14th. So I mean, perfect Valentine's Day gift, I guess. But
Wow. Now that I think about it, hold on. Is every other game of Wario Land in the NSO?
you know what? I have to like double check because I think they have something there, or rather, something's Wario like featured, but I don't know if all the Wario Land games are there.
Man, that would be kind of upsetting if they don't. Cause let's see,
Oh, they might have
Wario Land.
Wario Land like on Game Boy, maybe.
Are they all on? Yeah, they're all Game Boy games, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if that's the case, oh come on, nah, they got it. Because I was thinking like
I'll double check.
they got 4 now on the advanced and everything, so it'd be cool to just like run through and play these 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh,
It's a pretty good like selection, even with just Wario Land 4 by itself. I'm
yeah.
just double checking to see if there was anything. I'm actually not entirely sure. Um, yeah, I have to like double check and see myself here. I think they might have like one individual Wario Land game on Game Boy, and not and Wario Land 4 now will be on NSO for Game Boy Advance. I think that's it. So I mean, Phil would be able to tell you like off the cup, like he knows. He would know.
Yeah, he definitely would. But I think you know what? I think it is just only 4 at the moment.
Okay.
Uh, no, it definitely is. Yeah, it's definitely just 4. Holy. Wait. How about this?
Double checking. Ebran was asking about us knowing anything about Nintendo losing a lawsuit. I think there may have been something. I just don't. Not of
I
recent.
know about that.
What was going
Wait
on?
a minute. I forgot where. But what is it like a? It was a supermarket called Super Mario. Um,
Oh, I remember
so the
that.
issue, so the issue was like it wasn't. It was no branding that made you think of Mario from Nintendo. But like, I'm pretty sure the owner was probably named like Mario, and he just called it Super Mario, or like just a play on supermarket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they tried, and I think they tried to sue him for it. I'm like, hold on, Nintendo, y'all gotta chill. Like, hold on. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong on like that's your creation. Y'all got it like that. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
A supermarket? Like, hold on. Where was this market even at? Wasn't it at like
Was
some
this?
random?
I was gonna say, is this
Hold
the
on.
same like restaurant slash joint that was built right across from Nintendo headquarters?
I wish that would be funny. I don't know. Wait, is it? This is it's a Costa Rica store, Costa Rican store.
Hmm.
Um, because I remember that somebody showed like a different story where they looked at it and then God, yo, I think some people just did it on purpose. Um, some people were saying that like Nintendo had the right to call it out or something, but they showed a completely different store. Like if you look at this store in let me see, hold on. Can I just put yeah, look, hold on.
Uh, you know what?
Oh wait, how about this? Bam.
Oh wow! I
Well,
was gonna say
backwards.
like I was gonna say be careful, Aniyah. I only got like two
Yeah.
screens to look at.
Yeah, but look at this symbol. Look at this symbol right here. Nintendo was like those biters, and they tried to sue them. That's basically what happened. I was like, no way, bro.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
Like, but like, it's a
That's so
Super
funny though.
Mario, like, what is it? Is it what's? Well, hold on, Spanish. Don't they speak? They speak Spanish in Costa Rica, right? Am I stupid?
Hmm.
Yeah. Spanish. The Spanish word is like supermercado for supermarket. Super Mario. Like there's just a play on that. Like it wasn't just like, yo, the guy from the video games, we already get it. But like I don't think people have like a what was it? I don't think Nintendo has a oh wait, never mind. Hold on.
Hmm.
Because it's saying it has it for they have the trademark. The trademark for Super Mario and other fields.
Uh huh.
But it's saying like it holds the name, is hold over the name. Oh, it just doesn't hold the name over grocery stores and supermarkets. That is crazy. It was like, that's kind of funny. That is kind of funny. Don't get me wrong. Look, I get it. Big name. Nintendo wants to make sure to like never have to deal with people biting off their market.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Mario's a regular name. Like, there's a lot of
Mario
Marios.
is a regular ass name.
Like, you can't just be like, you can't just not expect somebody to have Mario and then make something out of it that kind of coincides with whatever it's doing.
I will say though, the full
Mario.
government though, Super Mario.
Yeah, isn't like wait, I thought Mario's name was like Mario anyway. Like,
You're
talk
right.
about how much like that wasn't creative on Nintendo's part anyway. Cause like it's such a regular name, they had to think of something that made it odd. Mario wasn't that creative, but whatever. But I'm like, yo, y'all really they went after these people?
Actually, no, wait, hold on. I think the interview was like, okay, does Link have a last name? Yes. What is it? Or what's his full name? Oh, it's Link. Okay, what's Mario's last name? What's Mario's last name? The same as Link. So like Mario. No, it's Mario Link.
That can't be real. They gotta do something about that. That's crazy. I think. Come on, man. That can't be the case. That's such a weird basis to go off of. Like, honestly, this little store. Man, they act like this store was running like Walmart. I swear it's just like a corner store.
They could have just called it Super Mario.
Super Mario. Like, I don't know. Like, this just like somebody's name. Oh, I forgot if it was like based off of somebody named Mario, right? Was it? Oh, wait. Matter of fact, it's called Super Mario de San Ramon.
Yeah, I think name. That the full government.
Yeah, they put their full government because like at the bottom of it, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't say Ramon at the bottom, but like the store been around. Like, this store's been doing this thing, and then here comes Nintendo. Like, hey, have you do that, son? Like,
not on our turf.
Like,
it's like, right,
sir. Like, bro, come on, man. It just sucks. You chose some really like common words. Like, Super Mario makes us think of Mario from Nintendo, of course, but like Super Mario for this person at a grocery store, a corner store. I don't know. Hey, man, they probably got more business now because of this nonsense. It'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Poetic justice.
Yeah, right. I was like, they tried to sue them. Is like, hold on, is this grocery store really keeping us from buying video games? I don't think so.
I don't think it like that.
Yeah, like trademark wise, yeah, you don't want to have like the same name of somebody biting your trademark, sure. But like in terms of like the market, a supermarket is not the market of people we're thinking of when we go and get stuff from like Mario. We'll get like merch as far as like I don't know, Super Mario mugs, Super Mario shoes, bro, shirts, all the apparel and everything. But like, or like even some of the cereal collabs that they do with didn't Mario have like his own cereal box? No, Phil has it at his house.
Yeah.
Like a little,
that was a one-time thing. Yeah,
like a one-time thing for like food. Yeah, I ain't got no stores. It's okay. It's not like this is keeping me from going to buy Princess Peach Showtime. Like, that's not gonna keep me from buying the game. That's crazy.
There have been other places. I'm not sure how they like legally get through with that. Like, remember the One Piece Cafe? Of course you do. Like, we all remember that actually.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know how they can have an issue with it. I'm pretty sure they'll just go through the avenues that they need to, because that's actually using One Piece, the content. They're using like the actual brand of One Piece. Nobody at this store is using Mario. Like, matter of fact, the symbol is a grocery cart. Like, man, there's no plumber in sight. There's not even a plunger. No. Like, there's nothing. There's no wrench. There's nothing.
Like, I think it can definitely use like some franchises here and there if it's not like officially like their store or anything like that. So it's like,
maybe
you see a lot of like, well, I mean, there could be like, I think Ghost Hand was talking about like a Dragon Ball like place, and it kind of depends on like how big the business is.
Well, hold on, wait. There was most of the time when that happens, I'll see people who have like like graffiti of something. You see that that it was like a regular kind of meme that popped up with like it's somewhere in Mexico because they love Dragon Ball in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see like a drawing of Goku in an apron and he's a Super Saiyan and he's holding a plate of burritos. So it's like,
Hell yeah.
Are they cutting in on like Dragon Ball's income? No, I don't think so. They're just like
No.
huge fans of it, and it's kind of just like a draw. So I don't know. I think I would put that in the same vein as this. It's not something that they were doing to like jack up Nintendo's market. It was just like it's a catchy name that people are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And just supermarket. I swear to God, that's the thing that keeps popping in my head. It's just it's a market. I don't know, man. I wonder how much did they lose out on money? Because that's some money right there. Crazy. But yeah. Also, Ibrahim, we did hear the story of like the lawsuit with Nintendo. Kind of crazy.
So funny.
Yeah. But, what
let me just chime this in because I don't think there's really much we can get out of it per se.
Oh.
Well, actually, we can have like a decent discourse about it. It's the Nintendo's patent. Now, Phil's telling me that he wasn't going to make it to this podcast, but he wanted me to kind of like just bring up the Nintendo patent because it could possibly lead to a whole new design for a Pro controller in the future for the Switch 2. Shared some links here and there. I also pulled it up here. It's interesting because I think it's one of those things where it's two ends of a Pro controller that snap together. At least that's why I believe it's what's going on because it's a patent that shows off like the Joy-Cons and the mouse support for that potentially, and how that functions and everything like that. It's exactly how you would imagine like holding a Joy-Con and putting it down on a desk mat and just making it work like a whole mouse. But they're talking about the actual like a controller, and the way it's set up is that it can be played separately like Joy-Cons, but it has much more of an ergonomic grip to it. So if you can imagine a Joy-Con kind of fitting more like a laser pointer. Oh yeah, like, kind of like a laser pointer of sorts, but it's more ergonomic to the hand. It's interesting how it's like looking like that. So I'm kind of for it if it's one of those things where they want to just be different and not give you like a standard Pro controller, or if anything, they'll just point over to the Nintendo Switch theme Pro controller, and that can give you sales that way. But I kind of like the design here. I don't have it like right in front of me to like share it the same way you did, Aniyah, but
I can pop it up.
Yeah, the patent also shows like the charging docks, which I did see for just the regular Switch 2 Joy-Cons.
Wait, we don't get in trouble for this. You think Nintendo's gonna be a bitch about it? I don't think so.
I'm getting this from The Verge, so I mean,
yeah. No, I don't know. Oh wait, like one of the little websites or whatever.
Yeah, their website. So they're just reporting on it, and it's honestly one of those things where they can't. Oh, it's me.
Don't worry about that. Anyway, don't worry about that. But this thing.
Yeah. So obviously they see like the overlapping like Joy-Con like rail thing that they got going on there. Showing how that like there's a charging station, the little straps.
Yeah, this thing. Okay.
So
I was like, so question about that. Do we?
I
guess technically there's still rails, but do we call them rails? Because like
you're right.
When I hear rail, yeah, right. Like when I hear rail, it's like something that we glide and lock on, like a train track, like a train rail, right? We don't do that anymore. We just like lock in, lock in.
Lock
so
in.
They do that now. So it's like
they
I
slap
think it'd be easier to call it that, just to be
so
like we get
that
it.
One right there.
But yeah, that looks kind of crazy. I remember I saw that and I was like, "Hello."
You know what? I feel like that could work. I kind of want it to look cooler though. I'm not sure how you can do that, but
honestly, yeah. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Where's my Pro controller?
I guess also, interesting. You know what? Would that be only for one person, or could you split that off with somebody else? I mean, you could.
Hey, it'll be easier to play games like It Takes Two with that mess.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, it kind of goes back with the original like ergonomics of. Oh yeah. So we have the Pro controller right there that Aniyah is showing.
So like cut in the middle.
Yeah, essentially cut in the middle, but not make it just like that per se. I think because I think by doing that they kind of want to make the entire thing lighter, and obviously they have to keep like a lot of the stuff like separate from each other, but it also should be something where they can like clash together and it becomes like a traditional controller to that front. But I do like that idea Because that was literally revolutionary, where it was like, hey, here's me on this couch, so I can just have like controllers right here and a controller right here, and it works.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So honestly, you know what? I don't know.
I mean,
like a strong magnet or like a little interlock in the middle. Like,
for
what?
sure, magnets, but it's an interesting look right now. So I wonder how they're gonna like ultimately design this to be like, oh, this is 100% Nintendo, but it's also unmistakably like Switch orientated.
Bro, what the heck?
Also, what happens if you lose one half of it?
I don't. Oh, you're done. you're cooked, buddy. That's crazy. Like no left stick anymore. That's tough. Wow, what the heck?
It's so interesting of design. We'll have to see how that plays
honestly,
out.
bro, I think like let me see, because I was thinking of like even with the Joy-Cons, they have like the Joy-Con grips where you slide both of them in like that.
Yeah.
Would they do something like that? Where there's like something in the middle that you put? I don't know.
I would
hold on.
Hmm.
Do you does it fit into the Switch like the new Joy-Con? So you like lock them in and you have like these handles now?
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
They look like one of those funny third-party connectors that they use for their phones, but it's gonna be for your Switch.
Holy hell! I honestly didn't even think about that. That's
gonna be funny. Yeah, you put the
it's gonna look silly, but also it's gonna feel good.
Oh no, that's gonna look so goofy. If you don't hold on, if the measurements of what I'm looking at right now, if it looks like that, it's so disproportionate. It's not gonna work out. Like, cause this is what I was thinking. Hold on, let me see. Where's another? This is what I got.
That's crazy. Okay. I honestly didn't even think about that.
Okay, look. Okay. We got the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
We got a Joy-Con, believe me. But like,
we have the inklings of a Joy-Con right there.
Okay, so look, hold on. Okay, because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at this thing again, like right in the center.
Aye.
Like for the parts of the controller that are cut off, like compared to the size of a actual, Joy-Con that goes into the Switch, yeah, the Pro Controller handles are not gonna cut it. It's not gonna do that. So, bro, either they do have to like separate and connect, or if like maybe because they could lock in on some part of the console, maybe you can. Maybe you'll have two of these handles and you'll be like on the side, and then you're playing it with like your funny looking Switch now. Maybe I don't know. It's gonna look kind of funny. Hold on, now I think about it.
Pulling out the Switch over here too, because
that is funny.
Okay, so I have the Satisfy grip, which is funny because they already did their whole thing. So this is what it looks like. But could you imagine if it's based off of that original, or they're based off the patent, so they slim it down like somewhere like around this area and fit everything up here. So it's like the screen's there. It's gonna look weird, but essentially it kind of does away with the need for anything like this.
I think it's probably gonna do that. It's probably gonna have like this the grip at the way bottom, slam them on. You lock them in on the side. That's gonna look funny. As long as it doesn't, because it's getting lighter. I mean, it's bigger, right? Like as far as like comparison in size. But if it's working on being like, lighter and not as heavy, bro, how fragile that mess is, or how mad you get when you play a game. Hopefully, you don't snap it. All right.
Yeah.
It's gotta lock in somehow.
It has to like lock, and also just make sure it doesn't like wobble a lot while it's connected.
No, yeah, exactly. It's gonna look terrible if it
I guess I would also assume that they also have like that same like little unlock button in the back. So like,
oh yeah, really, right? Yeah. Jeez, man.
Yeah, but I know that people have like made comments about, or at least one user illustrated like their concern, and people have been like hopping in on that one, usually typically attacking them for that like comment because it just kind of seems silly, but I get it, it's valid.
There was that funny thing.
Yeah, a little protrusion right there. And then it's like,
what's that thing with like where somebody was holding the controller, and then like, what
Oh.
if they just press it? Yeah, like
Oh
first of all,
no.
you shouldn't have a console if you're gonna be that reckless with it. Like, no duh. Like, of course it's gonna fall off. Yeah, what the it's like, my bad, ditzy, bro. But
Edo.
you can't. Yeah, they should be fine. They
We
don't
should be
have to worry
okay.
about that. At least most people
Children,
should be cool with
maybe.
like
Like Phil's kid,
all.
maybe. That might be like a little bit of a concern.
That'll be funny. Yo, put it in a high place. Don't let him get to it. That is so funny. Yeah, man. No, that's okay. Now I am curious. I'm super curious on
I'm
what's gonna
super
happen
curious
when that
now.
because we got what? We got until April.
We got to
Was it
April.
mid-April or April 2nd or
The
something like
April
that? I
2nd,
forgot.
actually. It's like essentially, yeah, once the end of March is done, like it's just like hop in on the Nintendo Switch 2 like train.
Yeah, you're right. Straight into April's all Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Switch 2.
Let me see. I even like well over the past couple of months, I even took into consideration for like a budget with having the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
We're assuming the launch price is like 400.
400 would probably be realistic, but they could also probably bump it up just a little bit more if they wanted to.
Yeah, who knows? It might even do like 420, 425. Who knows?
420.
I hope they do. I hope they do. And it's in April when they talk about the release date. Like,
It's April 20th, and you're like, wait.
it's like now we got trolls at Nintendo doing all this like funny meme PR. I think that's what I'm just like setting aside. Basically, I'm gonna set that aside for whenever it's released and the price point is laid out for us. Putting money towards that being the case. 400 feels like we're gonna be cool to do that. But they shouldn't do anything crazy. Like, I'm gonna assume that they're gonna have like titles announced with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from what we already know, new Mario Kart.
Hey.
But yeah,
They'll definitely have more. They'll definitely have more in April, for sure. Especially for those people who get to try out the Switch 2 that same month.
For real. This is hilarious.
Yeah. Pivoting off of like Nintendo for a little bit, kind of want to bring up PlayStation. Something it came up. It was relatively like an overnight type of thing.
Oh yeah.
So the PlayStation Network had an outage, and it was for a good number of hours. And you could probably imagine a lot of people were upset about that, especially those who may be, returning from work, or they were going to hop in on their like usual like favorite multiplayer, whether it be Call of Duty or whatnot, like just on PlayStation. Nothing crazy out of this as far as like something to learn from it, but it's one of those things where, I also had like a similar outage like earlier this week, and it's caused like a lot of issues like this past week as far as like overtime and everything like that.
Okay.
So I kind of relate to like a lot of people's frustrations about this because it does kind of, especially if it's like for something for entertainment and everything like that, because everyone has their own like routine, and so this kind of halted a lot.
The only thing I saw from this was, I'm not sure how it went last time, but do you remember when Sony got hacked?
I do remember that, yeah.
I think that's one thing people kept bringing up with this regarding that. But in this scenario, did that happen in the same way? I don't remember what happened with the Sony hack entirely. The only thing I remember is that like they got hacked. I don't know how, but with a power outage, if there's something down at their base or whatever, does that leave them vulnerable for another hack for everybody's personal info? Because that was a thing that they kept thinking about.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think it was a power outage, right? It was just mainly like a network outage on their end. So everything else was functioning. If you you could play games offline, but you have to kind of adjust settings like later about that. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think there was much to really take out of it. People were just upset. I will say though, I feel bad for those who wanted to play the beta for Monster Hunter Wilds on PlayStation during that time. You can still play it right now, but like during that time, it's like, oh man, you missed out.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. Honestly, if the worst thing to come out of this is that I couldn't play a game for a minute, I'm cool with that. It's just like the timing sucked. That's all. As long as nothing else like sensitive got compromised, then it's fine.
Yeah, It's only just one of those things where it's like, oh, no, you can't play like any online like Tekken matches like right now. So
I'd be pissed. Good thing I wasn't playing Tekken.
it's a good thing I wasn't playing Tekken.
Good lord. Now I think about it, I'm glad that ain't happened. I was
Listen, people missed out on Marvel Rival Session. And I,
you know what sucks though?
Mm.
Speaking of that, like even when it comes to Tekken,
Mhm.
I can have great internet. It just depends on who I'm fighting. There's people who would either have like dookie internet or like they'll rage quit and like plug out the session.
I was gonna say a plugging session.
Y'all gotta get humble. Y'all gotta get humble with these games, dog. You might, or like, you know what? It happens in player match. Like, there's no stakes. Just wait. You're not losing a rank. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it's a little weird. A little weird sometimes. Now, matter of fact, since part of Marvel Rivals, that's a good point. That would kind of suck.
Yeah. And I will also extend this out because they were posting about this a lot. Hoyoverse, like, and the respective games that have been on PlayStation also wouldn't be available for those who are just playing on that platform specifically.
That's pretty tough.
It's tough too because like not everyone can just jump on to like another platform that just has cross save progressions or cross progression type of things. So I saw this and I was like, oh well, I can play like Zenless Zone Zero on my phone, so like there's no problem with that. But for those who like heavily rely on that, kind of sucks. I know that I pretty much heard this like take from Maximilian, and essentially just follow the games, just support those games and like play them however you want to. It doesn't have to be reliant on like a certain platform.
Yeah,
but not a lot of people have that like type of like options like available to them, so that's fair. So it was really unfortunate that a lot of people weren't able to like play during this like window, especially like close to the weekend.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It should be back up now, right?
Yeah, I believe it's back up now. So
yeah, man. Hey, man. First world problems, dog. Couldn't get my Starbucks this morning. Kind of livid. I don't drink coffee, but yeah, no, it's all right.
I don't have that problem.
That's funny, bro. But that's cool, man. What I would assume is like, what's another thing? A lot of online. Well, no, nah, I can't even assume that. I was gonna think like, there's a good amount of games that don't require online. So if that happens, I'd rather just people, go back to the catalog and deal with what else you have.
That's true.
Yeah, because
also physicals are important. Physicals are important for this,
bro. I'm telling you exactly. What you know? What if you were
unless
downloading a game?
Unless it's this game, then you need the internet. So I mean, so don't be like me. Buy other
to the convenience. Yeah, stick to the digital. That's crazy. Oh Lord.
Like we do have like a fair share of games that are like online only, but there should still definitely be a market for those that don't require internet access at all, unless you need the patch or something like that,
For sure. Oh yeah, what's another thing? Wait, is there anything else in gaming? Because honestly, that patent thing was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know what? I did not even like imagine like that perspective until you brought that on. I was like, oh my god, you're right. It is the mobile controller like attachment to your phone. I was like, oh, you're so right about that.
You just clap them on. That'd be hilarious. But I think what is it? What's another thing that's been on my mind now? Because I know that let's try to cover all the games cover everything about games. Because considering like anime, I'm not gonna lie. Lately I have not been watching much, or at least consistently. Like there's this series I saw for like a couple of years now, because it's still old. It's like this Chinese animated series called Scissor 7.
Oh, I have seen a little bit. Where can I typically watch that?
Yeah, like that was on Netflix. I was just watching stuff because I had I forgot I had like canceled my Netflix account because I wasn't watching much. I was like, oh wait, new stuff. So I just ended up restarting it this year again. So I was watching it's like a month. Yeah, it's like a little bit earlier because earlier in January. I was like, let me see if there's shows I haven't watched. Look, I haven't watched Squid Games yet. I've seen season 1. I haven't seen in season 2.
I was surprised you'd humor that.
At some point. Yeah, like, well, my thing was I was watching the first season. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a pretty interesting series. It was crazy. But what I liked better, and it's just me, Right. I liked Hellbound. I like Hellbound better. I don't know if you ever
Hellbound.
seen that.
What's that one
Yeah.
about?
Now it's just like, well, it's crazy. I think it was a webtoon first. It was a webtoon first because that was a thing too. Webtoons have been getting like I think for a good minute now, live action adaptations. They did one for the series I read called Home Sweet Home. I didn't watch it because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like it. But Hellbound was one that was a webtoon. I think I'm pretty sure before. It's a series about like you just don't know. I'm getting darker. You just don't know
Oh no!
when like
Not
you just don't know when like when the when your like judgment is called basically. But when your time is up and you get judged for something, I think there's like a is there a timer on people? I forgot. These three bouncers from hell. That's what I call them. The three buff like juggernaut built demons.
Whoa!
and they beat your ass.
Oh shit! Wait,
you have to beat that one. I just want to let you know the gravity of that. You might have to beat that, but they beat you up, and then they take you. That's it. It's like, bro. It's just like this dude was at a coffee shop. He was just already nervous because I think there's a timer. Like you're aware of when they're gonna get you. I like to an extent. So the dude's just sitting in the coffee shop, and then like out of nowhere, it's just a bunch of other people just minding their business, and then it's just like, oh my god, and it's just like a bunch of them, dude. There's three of them, and they like beat this dude up, and I'm like, what is happening?
So,
and then out of nowhere, like they do like a joint like jutsu or something, and then they just like force field, and then they just like burn them, and that's it.
What the hell?
And then just take them away.
What? No. Okay,
bro. It is interesting because something crazy happens that like broke the function that you thought happened in the show. So I'm like, oh, season 2 is gonna be crazy. It is sad though. I will let you know it's sad though. So.
Oh no! I thought I thought it was just gonna be funny, like ironically.
Bro, like ironically, like I would think like the way they get beat up is so absurd. It's kind of funny. It's a little absurd. Cause I'm like, do you have to do all that? Just take him. Like, just take him. You don't have to beat him up.
So
he's not gonna win.
So the way you describe it, so it's like like in coffee shop like scene. It's just like a dude walks up, but instead of like Grim Reaper, just coming to take you just like real quiet, or just like dicing you, just like with the finesse. He literally takes the rope off and he's like swole as hell, and he's not gonna use a scythe or anything. He's just gonna use his hands on you.
Oh, they beat.
And there's three of you. Three of them.
Up. Bro, hold on. I mean, matter of fact, I don't know. I mean, I could show you. Now, I don't think it will be an issue with it, but let's see.
We might want to take some precautions here and there. I'm looking at like some images right now, like just through like Google, and I'm like, oh, well, wait, no, I'm looking at images right now. The promotional art shows this.
Bro, if anything,
shows this kid is like,
well, we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to. Like, it was so crazy. Look, we don't have to watch this. I'll probably just put it in the Discord chat and we'll just watch it later. But bro, that's such a crazy scene. He's just in the coffee shop. He's already sweating. I'm just like, this man is. It's cold, man. They beat him up. Like he doesn't have a chance. Just like take him down. Like I don't know. Like
just bring him in. Like you don't have to do all this.
You really, yeah, they really didn't have to, bro. And bro, they hauling. Like they couldn't win. And like so much so, one of them runs into like a truck. Like he's like so dedicated. He like missed him and ran into a truck, hoofing. There's three of them. There's three of these guys.
Oh my god,
bro! All right, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but they do look like Juggernaut.
Okay.
But on top of anime has been like popping up on Netflix now. So we got. Let's see.
The Sakamoto days. Yeah.
And Dan season 2 should be coming out this year in July.
Oh yeah.
I
Something like
think
that.
I forget. I'm just thinking of series that I've been actually reading. So like I'm glad that Sakamoto got adapted. Now, in
Very
my
nice.
opinion, the way it got adapted is a little weird. It's not 1-to-1. I don't think that. Matter of fact, hold on. They took out like an entire chapter. Now that I think about it, there was because it was weird. Because I was thinking like there was one of the things that Sakamoto Days is like kind of like I would say hyped up for it as far as like the appeal is like some of the ridiculous ways they go about like showing feats of strength. The chapter that they completely removed, there was a point where Sakamoto was trying to save his wife, and like because what is it? It was like a bus ride. Like these robbers are trying to like rob a bus or rob people on. I don't know. And they were mad about like I think their favorite manga got canceled. I don't know what it was. It was something stupid. And she was like, I know my husband will save me. One of the things he did to stop the train was grab like a stop sign and then just like put that mess in and like fucking shoehorned it and stopped it. And I was like, okay, that's stuff you'll see in the show. First episode, he stops a bullet by spinning a jawbreaker at it. Like there's a bunch of ridiculous stuff that happens in it. It's a cool appeal, but they took that entire chapter out.
Oh,
A little weird.
is it like
There's
early?
like some weird
Is it early on in?
Yeah, it was like, bro, the chapter that got taken out was like chapter 2. It's like it followed right after. And they just chapter 3 instead.
All right.
What is it? But in terms of that, I think that's a little odd. But I think there's some ways of like they wanted to lay out an impact of certain things happening. The animation itself is it'll be I mean, just like any other show, if it had better animation, if it had more like of a production, I think it would have did like a solid job. Because if anything, it's just like it feels kind of run of the mill. I want to say as far as like how they animated the show, not horrible, but not like anything like not like on Bones type of thing, like My Hero Academia type of mess.
Oh yeah. Which is interesting because it's consistent, like, but it's not like God. What's like a high tier like animation studio? I mean, Bones is good, but they keep it consistent to a point where it's like I think it's manageable for them internally.
Yeah, you know about how about what's his face? Demon Slayer. That's what it is.
Oh, is that no? That's not. It's Ufotable. Yeah, they're crazy,
Ufotable, right? Their budgets are like stellar, right? But I think with that in mind, that probably set like a crazy standard for people to where they don't appreciate what's going on with Sakamoto Days or animes like that.
Maybe. What's the other one?
I'm like, that's such a
Attack on Titan
show?
But
Attack on Titan is crazy. Yeah, the animation's always been crazy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the animation studio. I'm having a hard time.
Was that not? Wait, was that A1 Pictures or no?
No, that's not A1. I'm sorry. I think was that also Madhouse or no, not Madhouse.
Because you know what's another thing? I want to be mindful of that. You remember?
Yeah, the ones we make jokes about. I can't see my kids anymore.
Yeah, no. Oh wait. Nah, wait. That's not Madhouse, is it? Who was it again?
It was someone else. I'm pretty sure.
No way. Because they did Jujutsu Kaisen. So like.
Really? Oh, yeah. You're right.
They did Jujutsu Kaisen. It's gonna piss me off when I hear it. They did. The studio that did it was. I can't remember. What was it?
Oh, it's Mappa. You need to watch them.
It started with an M. That's why I didn't want to. I keep wanting to say Madhouse, but like no, it was Mappa.
It was Mappa.
Wait, who did? Yeah, anime, please.
I think Mappa actually is working on an anime right now this season, I believe, or it could be like conjoined with something here. I'm trying to remember.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the it's here. Zenshu?
Yeah, where's that? Zenshu?
Yeah, it is. It is Mappa. Because it's so fun because It's it what seems to almost look like a slice of life once they do the promotions for it, but it's actually an isekai.
That's an isekai. Oh my
Because
god.
it follows like an animator. But
Oh really?
yeah, but I guess she gets teleported, transported somehow. I haven't really watched the series, but I probably should.
What the heck? You know what it was? They're doing Lazarus. That's what I'm waiting on. Mappa's doing Lazarus.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen that. There's like this random dude who's just parkouring. That's all I see. I was like, is this a parkour the anime? But he's like a prisoner. I don't know. It looks crazy. But it is coming out. Oh, it's coming out in April too, apparently.
But yeah, yeah, they are doing Chainsaw Man as well. That's why I was like,
yeah,
oh, bro.
you're right.
They're insane. They were really.
So yeah,
this is. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad.
I was just saying that they had like a good session of just going back to back to back, almost overlapping with each other in their projects. They may have simmered down a little bit, but they're keeping themselves consistent in just keeping those people working.
Here's another thing I've been trying to think about. Do you remember the thing with One Punch Man? Where it was Madhouse, right?
It was.
Madhouse was the one who produced it. But it was a bunch of like high key animators who were like in this project. So it wasn't so much like a Madhouse team, like an in-house team, I think. It was just a bunch of people who came together who were doing other things that were like, you know, high profile animation, but they all came together for like One Punch Man. We watched a video on this years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know if you were with us, but it was definitely when it was at the apartment. It was Gabe and Nolan. Nolan must have brought it up, I think. But we were watching all that stuff. It was such an interesting video because the more I think about it, the separation of like season 1 to season 2 of One Punch Man was always a big thing. But I've always wondered about that with Mappa. If Mappa could just be the studio that could help produce it, or maybe they're just all animation based. I don't know. If there's a way to like lighten the load and to where they're doing all these series still, that would be cool. Cause man, nobody saw their kids. Like what you know about Arcane? I don't think anybody saw their kids.
Oh my god!
With like the level of animation for Arcane. Arcane is like, God, like the way their stylization worked and the levels of how clean the animation was. They forgot to pay alimony. Like they don't got kids.
Oh my
like
god!
It didn't work. Like nobody saw anybody.
They really had people like in the studio really just saying to themselves, "I appreciate your warmth," to their families that can't actually reach them.
They FaceTime every day they could. That's tough. Dang, dog. Hell's Paradise. Wait, they did that series?
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. They had the session where we literally looked at like who's doing this, and it's always Mappa, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, Mappa, I'm telling you, man, Mappa is on it.
That was a crazy hustle on their part, and I think they're still going with that.
Yeah, honestly, that's crazy. Wait, this is another series I heard about. Dorohedoro.
Oh, I know that one.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have no idea what the plot is, but I knew it was like I think it was 3D animated, right?
Yeah.
I am appreciating that 3D animation is getting better as far as like anime's side of things.
Yeah.
They still move at like 12 frames a second, and it's not like stylized like Spider-Verse. So that feels a little off sometimes when they do that. But I think it's getting somewhere to where like things are consistent at least. The models sometimes just didn't feel right. Or like as far as like how they move, they're a little too like stilted or whatever when I saw them in 3D animation. But there was this scene from an anime, I don't know what the name of it is. It was like a girl like figure skating. She was like doing ice skating.
Yeah, I know that
like,
one. Kinda.
Yeah, I have no idea like was that I don't know who the studio was, but like it looked consistent. It looked like the flow of how she was moving and every frame of the model was working fine. It was just a per second thing. Like if they get to a point where like those models can move like I don't know, if they can move like Hoyoverse models. If that was a consistent basis, that'd be cool too. As far as like 3D goes.
Yeah, I don't know what they need to like do some. That might be a trade secret. I'm not sure what they do.
Oh yeah, no, they're probably not gonna share that with nobody, bro.
That's their
But
TikTok
I mean,
algorithm right
anime.
there.
Oh yeah, they be studying you. They ain't gonna let us know none of that.
It's
But
insane. You would actually
I
say,
think like
you know what? That's crazy too. It's just the how fluid. And this is not to be a tangent or anything like that, but there is like the
yeah, go ahead.
level animation from Hoyover stuff. Especially when you look at Zenless Zone Zero, people brought that up back on like Twitter and whatnot. It's a new scenario where like if you haven't logged in for a number of days, the sibling of the respective character that you've chosen will have like this like voice call saying, "Oh, welcome back. It's been a long time," and everything like that. Kind of like incentivizing you to like, "Oh man, I feel kind of bad," and you'll just continue to play regularly from that point. They talked
Oh,
about the sister
that's how I feel when
character. They talked
yeah.
about the sister character, and people were saying that they kind of over animated her a little bit too much. And I get that. And at this point, they're just kind of flexing like what they can do with the animation team, but I get it.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Um, there are some goons. I'm not gonna lie, because when it comes to like the level of animation for certain stuff, I'm like, yeah, you ain't have to do all that.
You have to
But
do
I
all
mean,
that. Every Zenless
okay.
character with with
Yeah,
Boba.
yeah, bro, golly, whoever that pink-haired character, like,
Oh
holy hell,
no, oh no.
like, she's got yitties. Just chill out. But like, there's a lot of animation dedication I can appreciate and respect. So if 3D animation looked like that, respectively, it's not bad. And
It's
then
not bad.
the other standard is Spider-Verse. So
That too.
and it's looking good for some of these animation scenes. But like I didn't know that Mappa did this series, Doro Doro. This is 3 animated, and like I think some of the scenes were whatever. I didn't really watch the series, but they're coming out with a season 2. I think is it
Oh.
this year? Yeah, this year.
Oh, cool. Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna read one more name from Mappa.
Okay.
Campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skills. Do you know
That
what this says? Season 2.
what?
What is this show? It
Is
says
that
season
really
2.
Mappa?
That is that is a. I've never heard of this. So you know about this series?
Kinda. I never really watched it, but I have heard of it for sure. This is when they were kind of going crazy with Another World plus cooking.
Is there like a
All
slime in
two of
here?
them.
Like what? Like what? Is it product placement in this series? Why is he on the Pepsi bottle?
I mean, there might be some. There might
Holy
be some product placement.
dude. But then, like, what's this absurd skill? Is it that slime? First of all, slime is just like getting hype after being reincarnated as slime, like hit the charts. But like,
True
what
that.
is this?
You know what? I can't really say. I'll have to look further into it. I just kind of wanted to know, like, is it
Homie,
really Mappa?
it really says Mappa. It says Mappa, and
I
it says season 2.
season 2, huh?
So it
Well,
came out about 2 years ago.
oh really? Oh, okay. It's been that long. Yeah, I can't really say. Can't really say. Oh my god,
That's so
oh
funny.
my god, you're right. Because
It's
it really
weird,
doesn't look like it. Like I've seen clips. It doesn't really
bro.
look
Did you
like. I mean, anime art style, sure.
like a Mappa thing, right?
Yeah, but as far as like the fluidity and like the details and everything like that, it doesn't seem like that heavy of a burden of like just producing that, which I feel like Mappa wants to gravitate towards.
Did you know that they did Rama 1/2's remake? Did you know that?
Wait, can you say that again? I was like, wait,
You know about Ranma 1/2? You know about that series, right?
no, I don't.
Wait, you know about the? It's a classic series from the people who made. Well, the person who made
Oh, sorry, I've never
yeah,
seen it.
Inuyasha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn, I
that
did
was
see that.
Mappa.
I do like that art style,
Jesus.
but it's like, oh my god, I didn't know they actually did that one too.
Oh, it's crazy. Mappa's everywhere at this point. Matter of fact,
They're trying to take the entire like force.
yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, they look like they're going pretty ambitious, bro. Like honestly.
Should definitely check on the workers.
Yeah, like like what is it? Somebody said oh no way. Oh, I'm about to get mad. Let me see what this is. Hold
Hmm.
on. Uh saying like they have a what's his face unfair compensation.
As we've heard of the
Because
culture.
one of the things, because that you remember like what? How many years has it been since we talked about the anime industry?
Probably
Because
last
like,
year.
yeah, no, well that too. But like, you remember when it was just me and you talking about the anime industry from the guy who made Evangelion? Like he said something about like anime being like on a decline, which it kind of feels like they say that all the time. But when we did that, I think that was around the same time I saw this video where this new animator, she was talking about her experience. The way that they like stay in their offices or however they do their job, first of all, not paid well enough, right? Um they don't go home. Like they don't I don't think they have enough to like rent something. So they'll stay in like under their desk or in an internet cafe.
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm just thinking. So I'm really trying to think of something that really works with like what makes sense as far as like proper compensation. Because honestly, if it's not enough to live off of in regards to like what the income is, because I think anime is probably like in their regards out there, I think it's like $1 billion industry. Like they get money. Now as far as like how much on like the return of investment, I have no idea. But if it's to a point where like they're being like, because they criticize Mappa for being like a perfectionist, because the quality's crazy, it's pretty cool. But like as far as like them not being paid fair enough, that's gonna be a little crazy. So I don't know. I'll look into it later. But I just noticed that it said like controversies. I'm like, oh my god, man, come on! It already kind of sucks that people gotta sleep in internet cafes. Like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. Anyway, I think that's probably it for me is anime because Dan it's been on like what a month-long break for the manga, and that's gonna be back on the 24th of February. So it's gonna be coming back pretty soon.
Gotcha.
But like as far as manga, I think manga is more of like what I've been doing. I think I have like a manga I can read every day now.
Oh,
like they have like updates every day. But then there's some that have like, either a monthly or like a bi-weekly release. I keep tabs on that.
Okay.
Is there any other manga that you've been reading? As far as like what's been on the radar?
I'm gonna say I've been absent on the manga game. I'm pretty much unsubscribed off of like my previous subscription with it, so it's like one of those things where I just have to stay up to date with one of them. But I haven't personally been into that in a while.
It's been kind of interesting finding like some of these
I can only say
these newer ones.
And unfortunately, I can only really say because like Mark shared it, but the series from the same folks who did Dr. Stone, which I'm currently watching like the last season unfold, but it's called Marshall
cool.
King.
Yeah, I read that earlier.
Okay. I otherwise don't know what's going on. Yeah. Otherwise, don't know what's going on that one.
I think it seems kind of interesting. Because shonen, everybody got to be a king of something. So he wants to be the Marshall King.
Okay.
Pirate King, Wizard King.
Oh, yeah, the equivalent, the adjacent.
Yeah, the Soup Kitchen King. Like somebody's gonna have it. Something's gonna be crazy. Because I would assume like what's another series that's doing that? Isn't Black Clover still going? I think it's still going. Right?
I couldn't tell you if the anime is still going, but I will tell you that I'm pretty sure like it's still keeping up as far as manga chapters, right?
Yeah, I believe so. There's another series, what Undead Unluck. I remember trying to read that and I just got lazy. But that ended, I think, or it is ending. One of the two. Because it's getting close. There was a series I was reading, and it didn't even last long. And I was like, oh man, it had like an interesting. I think it was called No Name or N Name or something like that, and it ended after like only like less than 30 chapters. I was like, sucks, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when that happens.
The thing was, here's another thing I've been kind of thinking of. Right, Coming from somebody who's reading like one of the longest running mangas right now, right? I've been reading One Piece.
Okay. Here we go.
And then we have like, is it what's his face still going? Let me see. There's another manga that runs longer than One Piece. I don't know if it's still going. Is it done? Hajime no Ippo.
Is that still
Holy
going?
crap, it's still running.
Oh my god.
It's still going.
Yo.
Wait.
Yo, RDC made like a whole featured that in a whole skit like years ago.
Bro. By 2023, it sold over 1 million copies. So it became one of the best-selling manga. Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Wow. That is held by One Piece. Haha. But what is it? Doraemon. What the heck is that? Is that the blue-faced dirt? Oh, okay, it is. It is that dude. Dude, no way. Case closed. You remember that one?
It still goes.
Detective Conan.
Bro, yeah. I definitely have seen more and more of it just pop up.
Bro, how many episodes do you think it has?
I'm trying to think realistically. Like 10,000 of them.
Is that 10,000? No, it's that like wait, where is it? 1,152.
I was close. It becomes irrelevant.
I was in the ballpark.
I was in the ballpark.
Bro,
that's from around the way.
So what I was trying to say was like with all these series going on, I guess like having long running series, there's like always gonna be a benefit in terms of like having a fan base, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. I'm having this thing with One Piece where like there's definitely some dips in like what could have had more impact had it have ended earlier. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of crazy to say after these recent chapters, because bro, finally gonna get some answers on some stuff that was going on as far as like world building. But I was always thinking like, what's like a good like run? Like, you know, it's a good example of like a short series. I don't think did it even pass 100 chapters. I might be wrong.
Could that be Demon Slayer?
Oh wait, how long did that go for?
It was a good while. I think it still had hundreds of chapters, or at least no, it was like in the 100s area. I think
the 100s. Okay. Here's another series.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal
like how
Alchemist.
many chapters did? Yeah, Full Metal. How many chapters did Full Metal Alchemist have?
I actually don't know.
Well, you know what? Matter of fact, it stopped at 108. That's interesting. And that's like this is one of the best series out there. I think what's his face? Sadly, Berserk, the original author, he passed. But I think it was still going. And that's one of the best ones too, as far as like, you know, seinen, is that the word? Like one of the more graphic sides of manga.
Damn.
Swords going all the way to the Empire State Building. That hole is huge. But I just wonder what's like a good run, because it all depends on what kind of series it is. Like, think about it. One Piece is like expanded on like his world building because there's a lot of crazy, wacky stuff that keeps things interesting on top of the characters. Full Metal Alchemist was very character driven. So for them to have like a journey of redemption and how that thing started for both Ed and Alphonse, on top of just like the nature of what is working with them in that world of alchemy, 108 felt right, because like it was all about them getting like the resolution that they were looking for on in regards to them, like, you know, messing around with alchemy in a forbidden technique. So I think that's always something, because like what Undead Unluck is ending after like 200 and something chapters, I think. So I always wonder what is going to be like a proper okay, I didn't need that. I don't know what's going to be like a proper proper thing for them to like end off of, because there's somebody who pointed out like there's never gonna be a manga past like fucking, I don't know, friggin' 200 and some chapters ever again, or at least it feels that way.
I
Which
don't
I'm
know.
like,
People are gonna try it. People will try.
yeah, I mean, like, I guess sure. Like, what number did My Hero end at? Didn't it end at like 300 or something?
It was like 400 something.
Oh, four. Gee, never mind. I'm off.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I was just always thinking like, that I don't think that's necessarily an issue. The only way I could see it being an issue is based off of like just the publisher themselves, like Shueisha.
Mm-hmm.
There's like just a heap of mangas being tossed and like checked out. Now, I guess they'll never have like those like money makers, I guess. Like they'll never pop in and just like have like something like a One Piece or like a Dragon Ball or like a Naruto. Even Bleach should be up there because yeah, it's one of the big three. Like branching out and getting that market. I think people are always just trying to look for the next best thing. Which can kind of get like a little clouded sometimes, I guess. Because I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of good quality, but like I guess money makers that probably won't be as like extravagant or like well branded like One Piece. I don't think anybody's gonna have like something like this or like even My Hero anytime soon, I guess. Jujutsu Kaisen had a rough ending, so that kind of dampened. Yeah, it kind of dampened everybody on that. So that's another thing. When a series ends and it's all said and done, like, will it actually close in on having like a good impact? It's kind of hard to guess sometimes.
Yeah, like the day that One Piece ends, it'll be something that everyone's gonna observe and obviously be critical of, regardless of how good it ends or bad.
Matter of fact, when the One Piece is revealed, everybody's gonna talk about it. Even people who don't even particularly
they don't mess with it. They don't mess with One Piece like that.
They don't talk. They're like, bro, that mess too long. Those people are gonna be like, that's what it was, or something like that. So it's gonna be high topics to talk about. So I guess that's another thing. Like, there's like, I guess it's hard to answer that question as far as like what's a proper run, because there's so many factors that it depends on. Because the impact and like the like whatever foundation of the story that they're working with, kind of hard to call that, man. Because like a series that's good right now, like Dan. Now again, good series. Some weird points in there because the author is he's a little bit of a pessimist. Like, golly, bro, like chill up on that sad mess. Like, bro, dang, like, you know
what was the interview
about it?
Where he was like, oh, you know, like he has an editor who tells him to like chill out.
Yeah, he had like an editor made him read like 100 shoujo mangas.
Oh yeah,
because, like, you had to ease up. Like, you had so many dark themes and stuff. It's like, read a love story, bro. Like, chill out. It's a little wild.
It's kind of insane.
And it's one of the better series that came out within the past like a few years now, because it's at like chapter. Wait, what chapter is it at? It's in the hundreds, that's for sure.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but just like there's a lot of good series coming out. I think I'll probably just sit on that question a little bit, I guess.
Gotcha.
Like, what's a good run for a manga? But yeah, anyway, before I ramble too much, there's just a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of good things. Kagurabachi's still doing solid, in my opinion. What's his face? Ichi the Witch?
Yeah,
concept. Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's like in a world full of female witches, he's the first male one. It's like, oh, now you got something to work off of. Pretty interesting concept too, actually. I think all the characters are likable. Do I hate any of them? Not necessarily. Some I like more than others, yeah, but I don't think anything is unlikable about the series so far. No. So yeah, that's a good solid one. As far as like newer ones that are coming out.
Okay.
Sakamoto Days is still going. That's like
solid.
Hold on, how many chapters Sakamoto Days? Oh, you know what's another interesting one? Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi.
I think I know that one, yeah.
I think the author is a former assistant to Oda. I think that's what it was. This series is okay. It's kind of like what's the word? It's got some good entertainment value to it. Like the main character is like busted basically, like he's super strong, but he's kind of like socially awkward. Oh wait, that reminds me of another series.
Isn't that Shinobi Undercover?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Where like they're both like good at their craft, and they've been like kind of closed off because that's all they know technically. So there's some instances where like they're a little bit socially awkward with some people. Like he's a little bit of is he? Like hold on, because like in the first chapter he's kind of shown to be like kind of scared and like unsure of himself. So they kind of show that. And I think later on there's been like kind of an arc, so that's kind of gone. So now he's just like, because what, he's like 17, 16, so he's just like a typical teenager. But he's like busted, like he doesn't like spirit gun and all that mess. Same thing with that undercover ninja thing. So it's like there's been I wonder how it is right now. I'm gonna get into this because this is what I'm planning to do. Like do a little bit more like mainly manga content, like diving into that because anime,
there's a lot of that.
Too much time to invest in it. They're like what I can read in a chapter compared to what I can watch in an anime is lightning fast. So that'll be more of a market or like an avenue to go down. Because I hope this is animated. There's like some animated series that will work out for some of these manga series. But I never. There's some criticisms that are a little off sometimes when I read manga, but I want to see if there's like anything of sound criticism when I hear like series that I watch. I mean, series that I read or watch. If it's anything interesting to actually talk about, because there's some criticism I can see from this, but like who knows what it could build off of like next time. But shoot, man. As far as like series I would recommend right now, of course, stick with Sakamoto Days if you're already reading that. Because what? You want to catch up to chapter 199. 200 is tomorrow. What is it?
Wow. All right.
Yeah. And then you got this one's interesting. Asura's Verdict. That one. This is a funny one. I think this gets what is it? Wednesdays. It usually gets updated on Wednesdays. Plot. The plot is like this kid, super nice kid. He's super optimistic, right? He tried to be positive, but like, what is it? I think wasn't it his mom? His mom was murdered or something. So like, it's in the midst of all that, right? Like he, in the midst of having that kind of like upbringing, he's like trying to stay positive. But then he's like getting bullied, getting picked on, all this other nonsense. But then come to find out some random old dude. Matter of fact, I sent some of those screenshots as like a meme. If you ever see this old dude with a key in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So he gives him a key. And the key is like right in the forehead. You just poke somebody in the forehead. And then the gate opens. And then they get snatched up by a demon. That's pretty much what happens. So the whole plot of this is like him interacting with people who are being wronged. And all this other nonsense that goes on with him, like I think the recent one is like he meets up with this kid who's kind of tough. He's like a tough kid, and he stands up to like bullies and whatnot. But his thing is like his mom and him are like on the run because his dad was abusive, right? So like now it's just like now we're just waiting to see what's gonna happen. Is Asura gonna? Is he gonna? Maybe, but
my God,
it's been kind of crazy, and I think like they're all specific. Like there were different demons that pop out. Like when he gets somebody, like there was I think in the recent one there was like a horse that bit one of the bully's head and then snatched him. I'm like, like if anything, more of this series is just like how you feel about the extent
getting snatched.
Of these people getting snatched. It's like that. Like what's the extent of like them getting served justice in terms of them doing their wrongdoing? Because, bro, these people, like, when they're evil, they're evil. Like, this is some cold mess, man. Like, Ichi's just getting beat up. and it's just like the kid who's beating him up was like shown ripping wings off of like bugs and stuff. I'm like, yo, you mental. But
Crazy.
then it was just like, oh man, I guess I'm like they don't make you feel bad for these people, but like that in and of itself is always like an interesting concept. It's like how is it like a fair exchange for Ichi to do this stuff? Or wait, I keep saying Ichi. Isn't his name like Asura? I forgot.
Yeah, didn't you say?
Yeah, I said Asura. I keep saying
Asura.
Ichi. I'm thinking Ichi the
witch.
Ichi the witch. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen the. I don't know, but Asura is just like what's the cost of it? Like giving these people their just desserts or due diligence, right?
It's the
You're
yogai.
still committing like something. Yeah, right. You're still like doing something pretty horrendous against horrendous people still, but like, what's the equivalent exchange of that?
Dude, if you've been watching Invincible lately, I guess people would have something to say about that. The whole discourse going on right now. But
I've heard about that, but I don't know the ins and outs.
Before we jump into that, possibly, I just wanted to humor you with a little thing where, what if instead of like just any random thing sweeping, like grabbing you, what if it's like 3 dudes a la Hellbound?
If it was that, bro, if it was that, that'd have been the craziest thing to see like in a manga. Cause like it's a dude, bro. It's a webtoon of these big dudes just beating people up. Like bouncers from hell. That's what I call them. Cause that's
bouncers
crazy.
from hell.
It's so crazy how they just beat these people up. Just take them.
Also,
they're not gonna fight, but they can't.
There's also another thing I brought up. I'm not sure if this is something you're going to plan on doing for a YouTube video. If not, you don't have to answer it. But I've been kind of curious about the ins and outs of like getting like mangas adapted into anime, especially for those that are long running and haven't had that versus other ones that are shorter but also are getting it. I'm looking at 2 of them right now. I did not expect, what was it, Akane Banashi to be like where it's at for such a long running series. For something that doesn't.
Wait, that sounds great.
It's the girl with the is it slightly light purple highlights at the ends? And she does like these performances.
Wait, she does performances?
Yeah.
Akane
Banashi.
Oh, you're talking about the girl who does, because that's I'm so curious about that series. It's so different that I'm trying to get into it. Because I've read like how many chapters? At least 20. But yeah, it's like Japanese storytelling when they're like sitting in in like a stage setting and they're like narrating, performing the character and all this other stuff.
It's just
wait,
so
how many?
It's at 144. It's kind of insane if you just think of the premise versus like how typical shonen will keep popularizing itself. And then, actually, I misread it. Blue Box, that has an anime adaptation like already going right now, and that's 182.
Yeah, did you see some of those low budget episodes?
I have not seen those. I haven't even heard of the low budget bits about it.
Bro, I've never seen the series. I do like the artist because he did another series called Dolly Kill Kill. That would have been crazy if that was animated. That was Attack on Titan, but with like furries. But like what is it?
Okay.
It's yeah, it was like there was a thing where I don't know what they did. Like the animation was trash. It just looked like we were looking at animated comics. Like it was 3D balls when they kicked, but then when they kick it, it's just like a PNG just sliding or whatever. It's like Adobe effects. Like it was just nothing worked to make it look as cool as the earlier episodes. And then I guess now they're back to their usual like high budget stuff. Like stuff like that happens a lot.
I guess so.
It's a little weird.
They'll have like sessions of that, if not like a recap.
Yeah, it was that happened with Gurren Lagann with like episode 3 or 2 or something when they first met Keaton. The Black Siblings, I think that's what their group was called. Horrible animation. Oh my goodness. Bro, but the wall was hit. Like, good lord.
My God.
But on top of what you were saying, because as far as like anime
I mean, like,
anime adaptations.
yeah, I guess what's that process like? Especially for some
I
that
usually
get it
think,
and some that don't.
yeah, I usually think about that. I was thinking about how I would make that into a video.
Hmm.
That feels like that would be like a maybe like an annual thing because you gotta wait for a while. Like Sakamoto Days just had his, but he's at like how many chapters? As far as like
Now it's gonna be
when,
200, right? Or at least it was like, yeah, it's kind of within the ballpark of Blue Box where it is right now. But I
yeah,
mean, I think
um,
I
where
forget
is it?
which one starts first,
But
but
like,
yeah.
yeah, and, nah, you're right. Like it is around like the 100 and like basically between like 180 to 200 chapter length, right?
Hmm.
The thing is, how long animation takes to even be like concepted and like brought up?
Hmm.
Um,
I
the
guess,
anime was announced
yeah.
what like
I guess My Hero Vigilantes is a good example of, it's been out for a while, but I guess they're waiting for an opportunity.
I think a good opportunity makes sense for like the main series. The main series is over as far as like the manga.
Hmm.
The anime is still going, right? Are they on like
Yeah,
still waiting for like an
yeah.
update?
I think, yeah, the last bit of like the season.
Okay, so they needed something. I would say probably like to what is it? That way you have more My Hero content basically. Because
Yeah,
like you had what is it? When did Vigilante's manga end?
a good while. A good while.
Yeah, right? So it's been a while since it ended. So
Hmm.
you had three things going. You had the anime for My Hero and the manga, and then the Vigilante spinoff.
Hmm.
Spinoff's over. Now you're like, oh, that was good. So people who were fans of that, they were like, okay, I enjoyed that. Now we got two things to enjoy from the same franchise or series.
Hmm.
Now that the mainline series is done, like it's done. I don't know if they do light novels or anything, but now that's over. Now you only got one form of its adaptation, which is the anime. But now they're like, ooh, you remember the Vigilantes? Well, now we got something to keep you like excited for while we're still also doing the mainline series. There's just something that always engages the fan base still. So they always have a way of like, having
Keeping it,
some mud.
relevant.
Yeah, like the relevancy. Yeah, you're right. So I think in terms of like what would adapt these animes, it's just like how well are they actually doing? Like I think they're probably measuring off of like these apps now. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, I think this is the official one of the officials, right? Because Viz Media,
And
Shonen
Shonen
Jump's
Jump.
actual app, I guess.
Yeah.
And then this one is just like a more expanded app for others. Cause like I don't think some of these are I don't think everything is Shonen Jump. Yeah, no, this can't all be Shonen Jump. Um, but like it's Shueisha, I guess. I don't know, because
Hmm.
like the big publisher and stuff, right? They use this to measure, like they use the engagement out here to measure, like, will this be an anime series? I think that's pretty cool. And I was thinking about doing something like that. It's just like how often, because a monthly thing that would be kind of interesting, but it's not
Hmm.
gonna be super guaranteed. Now it depends on how well you resonate with this series. Like if you see potential of it being an anime, like highly in its favor, because like most of these could be anime just by virtue of potential.
Hmm.
How well you feel confident enough to say it could be, then yeah, why not? Because like what didn't we had a one shot animation adaptation. You
Hmm.
remember Look Back. Have you ever read that? It's the same
Look
person who did
back.
Chainsaw. Hmm.
I don't know it by name.
Yeah, let me see. You ever seen
I
like, well, maybe somebody might have brought it up on I don't know online on Twitter or whatever.
I
You ever
thought
seen
you.
this character?
Hmm?
Let me see. Let me look it up. Actually, it was just a one shot manga that ended up getting an anime.
Oh,
Yeah, by Fujimoto.
yeah.
It was just
Crazy.
a one shot. It was just a one shot that got anime adaptation.
Oh yeah, that was part of the talks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna
So it's
go with
just
Burn
like
the Witch. I was like, oh yeah,
burn the whip.
yeah.
That too. You know what? That worked out. But the namestay of like also hold on. Clear the record. Is it Tite or Tight Kubo?
Uh, I don't know.
Like, bro, I knew this guy for years. What's his name? I don't know. We'll just call him Kubo, I guess. But he has the the namestay of being the guy who made Bleach. So what, you're gonna tell me he made another series? Of course I'm gonna chime in and give it some some like notoriety or like a look at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So that happened with Fujimoto. But like
Mm-hmm.
just on top of just like being the guy who did Chainsaw Man, Look Back was super interesting. I don't know, man. This dude has a really interesting way of writing. It kind of sucks because like I feel like some of it's a little off of like Chainsaw Man now, but like Look Back had like a really good reception on how people could like resonate with some of the feelings that it made happen with the series. So it's like the qualification, right? Or like the things that people can find appealing for adaptation. It's got to be engagement as far as like the publisher's perspective. Are people talking about it enough? Is it relevant? Blah blah blah. But like in terms of yeah, in terms of like readers and stuff, hopefully they like give their opinions and reviews on it in that regard. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna take. Engagement and relevancy. Like how prevalent is this series like sticking with people?
I think I might want to talk to you about that after pod, but I did want to just do some quick shots. I may have not been checking out manga, but I've definitely just been keeping up with the weekly like anime stuff. So ReZero has like resumed back to its second cur. I've been digging it so far. I think it's one of those. I think you'd really like part of this like portion of the story and where it's like we're kind of like at the comeback story. This is gonna be the run we're gonna win, and it's interesting right now because the way they framed it, and the whole story, where you had like this probably the most powerful character to scale, and so he kind of serves as a foil to our main protag, who's useless at the beginning, and so to kind of like throw him into like some like bit of conflict where like it isn't going to be as easy as a 1-2 punch type of situation. It's just kind of interesting how they're taking it right now, but I guess TLDR, yeah. What's going on?
No, wait, manga or
the anime?
The anime.
Although I think there's a manga for it though.
No, because I was like, I've been seeing that pop up more because I know you watch it. I'm like, maybe I should. Because I mean, I watched it when it first came out. I was just like, what was I doing? I don't know. I was just like, it's been a while it's been a lot of other things I was keeping up with, especially like I know like One Piece and My Hero's still on my docket when I was reading that stuff. But I was trying to think of with like ReZero. I was like, I do kind of want to hop back into it because I'm just like, I need this fool to win. Like it kind of sucks though because I remember when I first watched it, bro. What was the one that bugged me the most?
I mean, yeah, I was like, which run?
Yeah, like bro, I'm like, but like him keeping the spirits up was a task because he who kept killing him? It was one of the sisters, right?
Yeah, that was
Rem.
It was Rem. Rem was the one who kept like killing him. But obviously, the efforts pay off because like she becomes like super fan number 1.
Yeah,
but
like
a lot of bad mess happens to her later on, and I get it. The initial like take for everybody, first impressions, like it is dark fantasy. It is very dark.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously the reward is just kind of sticking with the character and seeing how he like develops through this and becomes like a much more reliable like character, despite having relatively limited like abilities versus everybody else. But yeah, I guess what I really wanted to say was that that is still going. I think it's pretty like well done right now. I think at this point you're really sticking in for the characters as well. So
okay, I gotta see a way of like catching up on it. Like if they have like manga chapters, and I'll read it. But or can I 2x speed on like Crunchyroll? Like I don't know, like something.
Oh no, don't! I was like, don't do that.
YouTube, man. There's got to be some way of catching up on it because I do remember some points. Like the furthest I can remember. Let me see if I get this right.
Okay.
Who's the guy who looks like a zombie version of like Ringo Starr? What's his name, like Beetlejuice or something like that?
Like, oh yeah. Beetlejuice. Yeah.
What's that guy?
Oh,
there was what was that thing where was that Earth? Because he got Subaru's caught in like he right? Then he captured Subaru or something. Was that something that actually happened? Right?
Yeah,
Didn't Subaru get like caught?
He got caught. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Okay.
was it the area? Was it the part where Rem was like pissed off at that?
Thing.
And she went on like a revenge run.
Okay, yeah, because like I know I remember you remember the scene where like Rem was talking about how much she was feeling Subaru, but he was like, I care about Amelia? Is that her name?
Yeah, yeah.
Emaru? What? What's her name again?
Amelia, yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, I remember that, and I was like, dang.
After all that, she spent 20 minutes talking to him about like how much she like appreciates him, and he's just like, "No, nah, sorry."
Yeah, you're like the worst thing he could say is no.
Also,
that was rough. It was kind of rough. So I'm trying to remember what season was that. Was that still 1 or was that 2?
I want to say it's 2, but the seasons kind of blend together.
Yeah, right. Like I was just thinking, like, how much time did we actually spend on that point where he was getting murdered in the mansion or whatever when he was still there? Because one part I do remember when he jumped off the cliff, but like he did that.
He did that.
That should have been season 1 still. Whenever season 2 started, because I think like they got to a point where they were meeting that one character. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was getting close to that. Echidna? Is that her name?
Echidna. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting to that point. First of all, I was like, why are you named after Knuckles? I didn't get that. But I was just thinking of that stuff for a minute.
Echidna was second season, yeah. So everything before that is that's first season. But it had different arcs. That's what's going on. And they were like 25 episodes. So I mean,
yeah, like the length of these seasons. I'm like, bro. But okay, I mean, I could probably figure something out as far as like chiming it in and like watch this stuff and catch up on. If I find like a manga or like maybe even a light novel, who knows? I'll keep that in mind so I can catch up on the series. I'm not gonna lie. I remember there was a point. You know what it was? Oh, I kind of like taking a break from like dark fantasy stuff. Like what is it? Do you remember Blood Sea?
No, I don't.
Oh man, I was like, all right, how about this? I'm gonna describe a scene. Do you remember a scene where these giant rabbit-looking bunny demons?
No, is it the one where they like glorify like how they kill and eat them?
Bro,
put them in a blender.
I was like, yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm kind of sick of this mess. I'm gonna watch some happy stuff.
I get you. That literally will turn me off too.
It was just like, bro, it was just grotesque. Or like there was, because it was the same series where like this lion demon thing was like snatching these it was like twin girls or something. Like they were twins, and like one twin left another twin behind, and then the twin got snatched, and it was like bam, like on some Tom and Jerry stuff, like bam, and they just like ripped her in half. And I'm like, you know what?
I get you. That's not for everybody. I have to see like what's the payoff for all that. And if it's one of those things where it's like
usually what keeps me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see, because you're not wrong. It's the payoff that really makes you stick behind, because you're like, they gotta get through this.
Yeah.
They gotta get through it.
But like I want like the happy ending. I don't want it to be like at what cost or like I'm just so tired type of ending. And then like just a withdrawal, but they're out.
You're right. I'm sick of that, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm cool with like those positive endings. Like even with what happened with what's his face? I have to actually sit and watch it. With Attack on Titan, it was like kind of like a somber ending.
Yeah.
I feel like that. Too. Yeah, right. I feel like that scene kind of makes a little bit more sense. Whereas like stuff with like Blood Sea and like to a lesser extent, maybe, who knows? It depends on how you feel. To a lesser extent with like even ReZero, because just a bunch of repeat. What different ways can this guy get offed? Or like with Blood Sea, there was like, how grotesque can we get with these people getting butchered? Because there was a scene where, what is it? It was kind of crazy, depending on whoever that voice actor was. There was a scene in that part where like this vampire was like, I guess hugging a girl, and then I know come to find out he's like ripping through her shoulder, and then like as soon as you hear like the bones crunch, she's like hollering. I'm like,
my God.
like Like, bro, I ain't trying to hear all this, man.
She's just trying to get
like,
paid.
Yeah, right. I'm just like, I'm just trying to. Is this series good? Like, what's? I don't even know what the payoff
though?
is. I've never even saw it because like it's I'm like I need a little break from all this mess. But I think that's usually what it is. I don't know. I could sit and watch.
I get you though.
Yeah,
like a little bit. Sometimes it can be a little bit too much. Like it feels like One Piece has like that potential to reach that level, but doesn't do that. That's not the appeal of One Piece.
You know what it is though? Actually, they do some dark stuff. Like what is it? You know about Boa Hancock?
Yeah,
the girl who likes the lady who likes Luffy and stuff, right?
Yeah, the one that.
Yeah, she looks down on you so much. She's looking up is a crazy concept, but that girl, but it's such a crazy concept. But come to find out, when you first meet her, and she seems like all unlikable and everything. After Luffy gets like a wind of certain things that they try to not do, which is something about like not having their back shown. The context behind that is crazy. It was because that like they're sisters, but they were like slaves when they were teenagers. So it's like all that like they got branded and abused and all the other.
Well,
crap,
actually,
right?
you know what? Nami's pretty close to that, even like so early into the series. Like that was kind of dark, especially like how she deals with that. Until Luffy, like
8.
Yeah.
That happened to her when she was 8 because she could draw maps. These dudes
took advantage of that.
Killed her mom. Killed her mom right in front of her. By the way, let's just throw that in there. And then they were finding out like all these maps and everything that Nami drew, and then that her mom appreciated. She was like, you know, they saw the talent in that, and then just made her a slave. Like what?
Because what can you do at 8 years old?
Yeah, right. Then they said, get this money, and then we'll release the village. And they never do. But like those concepts in and of themselves are kind of like the twisted. But like, how explicit do they show it is the question.
True that.
Because like, think about like what is it? Like something about like.
I'm trying to think of a show that has like those underlying tones, but they don't show it.
Yeah. Shoot, can you say Naruto? I think Naruto had something in that regard, didn't they?
I think a lot of that's later like developed. Like I think the most grotesque thing you could possibly imagine is the whole Itachi thing, but it's one of those things where like they tell you about it and it's like, oh, that's kind of messed up, but it's like you don't ever see that until like later on.
You know, yeah, you're right.
And it's only for that one bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Naruto never did it that heavily. What about I know that they censor stuff with animes compared to the manga, but
or you know, it's the fact that like Goku sends Gohan out to fight Cell, and like it only takes a while until Piccolo like actually talks actual sense into Goku.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And it's like, yeah, Goku, actually, wait, that's messed up.
You know, it's funny. Just Goku's like, guess I'll die, and then he, because like Cell was like, I'm just taking everybody with me. He's like, dang.
Oh yeah, hold on, wait, hold on.
Like that before. That was funny. But yeah, it's just in those regards, it's just like how explicit things are.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to like watch that a decent amount of time. But yeah, I'll figure out some time to watch all these things. I can read it. That'd be cool too. I'm really just into the manga scene right now.
Oh, you know what? Another example, not to trail everything off and extend this for like 15 more minutes, but Wisteria, Wand and Sword was another thing, where it got kind of grotesque near the end, and it's obviously from the villain side because the villains are really bad. Like morally speaking, they're really bad.
What the heck is Wisteria? Have I seen?
Also, yeah, actually, you know, I want to talk about solo leveling for a little bit because that is like kind of the brand new thing. It's also been like my favorite thing that's been showing off right now. But yeah, no,
I've heard about it. Yeah,
you know what? First episode obviously gets kind of grotesque because it's literally this guy on the verge of dying, and he gets a chance, and that's how it becomes stronger and stronger, like later on.
Okay.
But yeah, I just watched the recent episode prior to the start of the podcast. It's crazy good. It's crazy good.
I can dig it. Ooh, look at that.
As long as you can just turn off the filter for like the power fantasy thing, where it's like, oh, super overpowered person, yada yada yada, they win. That's pretty much the story.
Oh, okay, got that. like as far as like people who carry that concept, One Punch Man does that pretty well. But I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, there's gonna be some ways about like engaging with some of these new mangas that I'm trying to do. Cause I mean, like I could read throughout the day or whatever while I'm like at work on break. But uh definitely gonna look into like how we can work with this as like content too. Cause that's something I was thinking about. What is it? I guess it'll depend on the series. Like I'll be doing things like on a kind of solo thing where I'll just read a couple of different series or like make something out of it. But I remember Mark said he wants to do something as far as like helping consult with that too. So like
He's always down for it.
yeah, that'd be cool to do so. So there'll be something like that we can always do. Like depending on the series, if it's a series that we both like or like whatever all three of us are into, we could just do that. It just depends on what you guys are willing to talk about.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Alrighty.
But I think
that's
that's
everything.
for me, like I'm spent.
3 hours, bro. 3 hours.
Yeah. Flew by.
Oy. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and call it here.
Yeah, man.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast. It's been episode actually, no, it's been a hot minute. It's 534. My name is Justin.
All right, I'm Aniyah.
And thanks for watching, everybody. #bar, everybody.
Deuces.